London's LBC 97.3.
0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbot.
The sound of the flashing teeth, I have chosen Liberace to introduce me. Why not? This is LBC. I'm Nick Abbot. Haven't said that in a couple of years. The phone numbers I'll give out straight away. No, I'll not. Not for, a couple of hours. Alison Bell had the right idea. I should have brought in a book. I should read out the first third of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and then I probably will never work on radio again. What a cracking wheeze. I was listening to her in the car coming up, and she's reading a children's nursery story, but it sounded so sexual the way she was doing it. Am I alone in thinking that? Yes, as you can tell from despite the feminine lilt in my voice, I am not Caroline Faraday, and I never will be. I'm just going to have to live with that. She's sitting at home, probably with her feet up and a cocktail, stunned with excitement at the Winter Olympics. Has it started yet? Does anybody care? The Winter Olympics. And the BBC are really pushing the boat out. They've done 4 hours continuous coverage this evening on the opening ceremony, and then you'd have to look with a microscope to find any subsequent coverage of the actual games themselves over the next few days. It doesn't exist. All they want was people parading, and then after that, the sports can, go and take a running jump at themselves, which is actually the event on the third day. All right, I will give the number, 0870 90 90 973. It seems like a Herculean task, this. 3 hours stretching ahead of you and no music to hide behind. It's almost petrifying. It shouldn't be. It's the sort of thing I used to toss off on a nightly basis for years. Let me rephrase that. It's the sort of thing that I used to do on a nightly basis for years in a row. Already I've made a mistake. And I've been preparing for this, almost like an athlete, for the last week. Because you know the feeling that you get when you're about to have a cold? That sort of thing in the back of your, just behind your eyes, that you think, oh, here it comes. And I'm thinking, I can't get ill now. I haven't done a talk show for about a couple of years. I mean, I've been on the radio right enough, but playing any fool can play music. Only special kinds of fools get given shows like this. And I thought, I can't get sick, because I've used that excuse before when I was actually sick, and I couldn't do the show. So I can't, now they've probably given me one, I can't say, I'm sorry about this. Guess what? And so I've been preparing all week like an athlete. Last night, for instance, I went to bed at 9:30, which is ridiculous for a grown-up. And I've been pumping myself full of look at these, the size of these pills. They're called Nurofen, easy-to-swallow pills. They're the size of a golf ball. Impossible to swallow if you've actually got a sore throat. They won't go down. The packet they came in would have been easier to swallow. So I'm on those. I'm on a different variety of vitamin tablet. I've taken way too many vitamin tablets. You know the table on the back of the packet that tells you the percentage of the recommended daily allowance? I'm way over. I'm peeing orange, by which I don't mean it's the colour orange. I mean it's actual freshly squeezed orange juice. I'm like a dispenser at a breakfast buffet. Already I've gone too far. Faces have dropped through the glass. So, Caroline Faraday's taken a break for the 3 days here and next week. And so really I'm in your hands, because it's not my show. It's basically it's more your show than it is my show. And so I'm open to whatever it is you would have called her about. How would you normally start the show, Lucy? I can't hear you, dear.
Chat about what she's been up to today or this week.
Trying to sleep. So that's that.
Yeah. That's about it.
Trying to sleep and eating vitamins.
Last week she was learning how to whistle without using her fingers.
Right.
Any skills you'd like to acquire from a listener?
Involving fingers?
Well, it depends.
I made the mistake, can you hear in my voice how ill I am?
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
You're managing very well, though.
Oh, yeah, I'm a real trooper, eh?
Thank goodness for that orange juice.
I made the mistake of going on the tube. If only I had got the Standard on Monday before I did it. Did you read this story in the Standard on Monday? The germs that lurk on every tube seat. I was practically ill just reading it. New Scientist magazine published research showing that the office workspace was home to 400 times more bacteria than a... Guess what? Hazard a guess. The average office workspace, the desk that you sit at for 8 hours a day, was home to 400 times more bacteria than a...
Toilet.
A toilet seat is the correct answer.
Hurrah!
Not hurrah.
Well, near.
Are you listening to what I'm saying? The place that you sit at for 8 hours a day, is you might as well be sitting in the toilet.
I clean my desk every now and again.
Analysis of samples taken by the Evening Standard show that the tube is actually worse. The average public transport seat is home to more than 3 million bacteria. Now, I go around and I think that I'm getting a bit freaky about this. I sort of am coming across to myself a bit like Howard Hughes or Michael Jackson. In the winter, it's okay, because you can wear gloves without people looking at you strange. I will put my gloves on to go on the tube, because I don't want to grab the bar that feels greasy, because who knows what kind of animal has been touching the bar before you got there. So you can wear gloves on the tube in the winter without looking strange. But what happens in the summer? It's like eventually I will become like the Queen. I will be forever walking around with pairs of white gloves so that I don't have to touch anything. But it turns out I'm not a freak. It's quite the right thing to do. Up to 70 types of bacteria are present, and that could include serious diseases such as MRSA. The test also looked for signs of coliforms, which are an indicator of, are you ready? Fecal matter. That's right. However, it says all the samples came back at acceptable levels. Now, I may be strange, but the only acceptable level of fecal matter on a tube seat to me would be 0. Professor Peter Openshaw of the Imperial College said, "There's a very real risk of disease passing from person to person on tubes, no kidding, in terms of coughs, colds and tuberculosis. If someone sneezes..." And this is what I'm thinking when I put my hand on it's greasy. If someone sneezes, wipes their hand across their nose and then holds onto the rail, the chances are the next person's hand will become infected. And what do you do with your hand? You put it to your face and your mouth, you stick it up your nose, and A spokesman for Tube Lines, which operates the Jubilee, Northern and Piccadilly lines, said basically, "Oh no, it's not," which is the government or anybody that's in power, any member of authority, when faced with the bald facts, will say, "Oh no, it's not." They said, "We're installing removable, washable covers now, so we hope to be able to wash them regularly in the future." Right. That's what they'll be doing, because if there's one thing that we have noticed about the tube is that it's just so clean. So when they've finished scrubbing it from top to bottom, they'll be taking the covers off the seats and washing them now. Hands up who believes that. Okay, hands up who doesn't believe that. It's overwhelming. The people have spoken. Right, this is the first time I've done that. Let's see if I can do it right. It goes root person on air. Mandy.
Nick.
Oh, success. That almost deserves a round of applause. Mandy, what do you think? Thank you.
I'm so excited to speak to you.
Why is that?
Because I thought, well, I haven't heard you for such a long time.
Yeah, I know.
What happened to you?
Where have I been?
Where have you been? I know you can't say.
Well, I took 2 years off.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything for 2 years, and it was... I'm not one of those people who feels obliged to do anything. I know a lot of people that are successful are like, Richard Branson, Chris Evans, people like that. They're driven, and they can't not do anything because it drives them insane.
Yeah.
I'm completely the other way around. I hate doing things.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly happy just to sit at home doing nothing. Days go by and I don't leave the flat.
Really?
Well, yeah, literally. Days go by, I don't even go down 3 flights in the lift to pick up the post. I am incredibly lazy and happy to be that way. I'll probably live longer. My life will be less exciting,
Yeah.
but there'll be more of it. And so I literally have done nothing for 2 years, and then just over the last month or so, I've picked up some work playing,
Music.
loud, raucous noise.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No, you used to
You're in
have-
Northampton.
No, don't. I can't. Don't even go there.
I wouldn't go there.
Exactly. I used to live... Do you want to hear about it?
Is there anything to tell?
Yes. I used to live in Hendon, in northwest London. And in August, I had this bee in my bonnet. I can buy a house in Northampton. Don't ask me why.
Why?
I don't know why. Because I'm a woman.
Oh, no, come on. Why
I
Northampton?
don't know, because it was 45 minutes down the M1, and I could be back in Hendon, see my friends, blah, blah. I bought this house, and I hate it, and it's just sold. And I'm going to go live in St Albans.
You've just dealt with estate agents.
Yes. They've been all right.
They've been all right.
Mm.
How long did it take to sell your house?
Well, I put it on the market in October, so it was coming up for Christmas.
Right, it's a very bad time to put it on the market.
Yeah. But it sold at the beginning of January.
And did you get your asking price?
No, I lowered it just to get out of here.
You know how you would have got more than your asking price?
How?
You would have put in the advert, needs work.
But I gutted
or
it.
needs modernisation. Doesn't
I
matter.
spent a fortune on it.
Doesn't make any
A
difference.
bloody detached house, just with me rattling around in it. 3 bedrooms.
Here's a
Okay.
tip for anybody that's trying to sell their house. The fastest way to sell your house is to put the phrase needs modernisation. Even if it doesn't, you'll have people queuing out the door who will give you any money that you ask.
Really?
They'll be fighting each other to get to your house, yeah.
I would have given it away. I want to go live in St Albans, and I found a lovely property there. I just got to get out of here, and I'm going to.
But why did you pick Northampton? You couldn't possibly have picked Northampton because it's because of its easy access to Hendon. That's ridiculous, woman.
It's near the M1, which
Yeah.
I've done today, up and down the bloody M1. I hate motorway driving.
Apparently.
I don't know what was wrong with me. It must have been... I don't know.
Do you know anyone there?
No. I've been so lonely. It's so sad.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, you were attracted by the, what, excellent international shopping? What?
No.
Good schools?
No.
Hot
I
men?
haven't got kids. The men... No. I'm single. I mean, it's been a nightmare.
You're single and you chose to move to a house in Northampton?
Yeah.
Right. What do you do for a living, Mandy? Mandy. You sound like you're opening an old door there.
I know, that's the noise I picked up from my ex-boyfriend. Well, when I was living in Hendon and London, I was...
I mean, Hendon is a pretty awful place. And
Oh, it's nice.
is it?
Yeah. It's near Hampstead, it's nice.
Near Hampstead. You have been speaking to an estate agent, haven't you?
No.
Near Hampstead.
I was brought up-
Hampstead's all right. Hendon isn't.
I was brought up in the West End. I'm a West End girl. I used to be in the media business.
The media?
As they say in
Well,
Scotland.
go on, be specific. What did you used to do?
Infomercials.
Infomercials?
Yeah.
Are you one of those women who writhe above the phone number that scrolls across the bottom of the screen?
No.
Lusty hot babes are waiting for you now.
No, but I'll tell you that in a minute. You sussed me out straight away.
Infomercials?
Yeah, they're a video production company. They make CD compilations and they sell them.
Oh, this compilation is not
Yeah.
available in the stores?
Yeah.
Right, because it's
You can't buy
crap.
this in the shops, and you wouldn't want to.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
All that stuff that they can't sell, to real people. They sell it to stay-at-homes.
Yeah, and you can't clear the bloody rights from what you want to get, the music business.
Yeah, Mandy, the mouth on you.
Anyway, then I was made redundant.
It's probably
After
because of the
14
continuous swearing.
No, after 14 years at one job, which was a bit of a shock.
Right. Such a shock that it sent you to
shock.
Northampton.
No, that
Well,
was ages ago.
I'm glad you're back, though, dear.
No, I've got more to tell you.
Well, people are shouting at me to take a break. Apparently we're 4 minutes past the break. I've already made more mistakes than a
but you'll
human
like the
being
next
can
bit.
cram into 20
You'll
minutes.
like the next bit.
Go on then, next bit me.
I couldn't get a job, came up here, I'm a chatline operator.
You're a chatline operator. Mandy, I'm going to have to come back to you. I was going to get rid of you. I'm going to do something I don't normally do.
Yes, I thought you might.
I'm going to go away and come back.
Okay.
Nick Abbott.
London's LBC 97.3.
So, Mandy, how much is this call costing me?
No, you're getting it for nothing.
I'm getting it for nothing. Oh, if only that were the case. So you're a chatline operator. What does that mean?
It means I log on when I want and I log off when I don't want.
Oh, so you're not working for a company. You can actually do it yourself.
No, I work for a company.
So to speak.
No. DIY. No, I do it for a company. And I got a number I log on and a PIN number and a pass number, and now I wait for the phone to ring, and it does a lot.
This is incredible. So people call you up and want to talk to you about...
And you're told...
sensual
what sort of call you're
matters.
Getting.
Right.
You're told if it's one-to-one.
Right, so it's kind of like what I do.
One-to-one hard. And then you know it's hardcore.
Right, let's not get too graphic, eh?
No, I wouldn't. I've spoken on the radio about this before. Please.
Have you?
Yeah.
We're going over old ground?
Yeah, well, no, because no, not. But it's always the same.
Mandy, how on earth does somebody get into that business?
From an advert in the Evening Standard.
Oh, it's their fault.
Ah. And, desperation, something to do, being alone in Northampton, and I was doing it in Hendon, I have to say as well. I've been doing it on and off for a while.
Something to do. Ladies and gentlemen, can you believe it? Like going and helping out with, your local church group wasn't good enough for you?
No, because
I suppose you are doing a social service.
Well, you say that. Yes, some of them are very lonely people. They are.
Well, they'd have to be.
And they're sad. But a lot of pervs.
Oh, these are your customers, dear.
These are pervs, and they all want to know
come on.
what colour knickers you're wearing.
Well, of course. I mean, they don't want to call you up and talk about, what's been on the news.
No, and obviously there's things we're not allowed to talk about.
Right. So what is the strangest thing that anybody has wanted to talk to you about that is not sensually related?
I had one man, and the builders were here doing my house, and he...
That's not a euphemism, is it?
No. And he wanted to hear the call, because I've got a speakerphone. And this man...
You put them on speakerphone?
Yeah, I put him on speakerphone.
Oh, come on.
But it was so funny, I had to hang up, because we were laughing so much. He said, can I act out a fantasy with you, do a role play? I said, yeah.
Was this the builder?
No, the bloody caller. So,
Randy, that's 3 now.
What? Swear word?
Yep.
Sorry. I said, yeah, what's your name? Blah, blah, blah. I said, well, how can I help? He said, I want to make love in a room full of balloons.
Balloons?
Balloons.
Right.
And I said, actually, I've got a fear of balloons, which I do. I don't like balloons at all. They really frighten me.
Well, what, huh?
He wanted the whole room full of balloons.
Right, and you had to make your excuses and hang up.
I asked so much, I hung up.
You have a fear of balloons?
I do, but the call made me laugh. And they all want to know what knickers you're wearing, and most of the men that ring up are wearing knickers. Men like dressing up in women's knickers.
They don't?
Oh, they do. I promise you.
So how many hours a day are you doing this?
Oh, it varies from 2 to 6. It varies how bored I am. And you see, the thing is, Nick, I'm mad about sport. So I can watch the cricket and the tennis, and I talk to them while I'm watching television without the sound.
See, now, if I were paying for your services, I'd want your undivided attention.
Yeah. You get my undivided attention.
Do they actually want a conversation, or they just want to hear you,
I don't play that game with them. I don't do the
right.
business. And I don't tell them... They say, what are you wearing? I always say, just a T-shirt. I don't say, I'm sitting here in stockings and suspenders, because that's crap. Sorry, that's rubbish. But there's one business that is never going to go down.
Well, yeah, you've got that right.
And
yeah.
that's the sex business. Sex
correct,
industry.
yes.
Never going
Because people don't actually have sex anymore.
Don't they? It's all virtual.
It's pretty old-fashioned, yeah. But nobody touches anybody anymore.
Is it virtual? But what...
In fact, just the thought of it's making me gag.
But just briefly, what you're saying about the trains. I know I'm changing the subject.
Yes, you are a little bit, yeah. Let me, all right, go on, you do your train bit, and I'll have one last question for you,
Okay.
all right, go on.
I haven't been on a tube for 25 years.
Well, you're a very lucky woman.
Because I was frightened of the germs and just...
Right. Balloons, tubes,
Yes.
Is there anything you're not frightened of?
Ask me my question. Can I talk to you like I talk to a punter?
No.
Go on.
How much money do you make an hour?
It's a minute.
Okay. Can you multiply it by 60 for me?
No.
How much money do you make a minute?
It's... The art of it is to hold the call as long as you can.
Well, yeah, of course. So you'd be wanting to watch cricket, for instance, as opposed to football, which is over in an hour and a half.
No, they can only do 30 minutes legally because of this is it? The regulatory body.
You're kidding. There are rules.
Yeah, seriously.
I would love to have been in on the government quango that came up with these rules.
Have you heard of ICSTIS?
Of what now?
ICTIS.
ICSTIS.
Yeah.
Is that some sort of perversion?
No, it's a regulatory body.
Oh, them, yeah, they're very good.
You can only have 30-minute calls because of money.
So in a 30-minute call, and what happens at the end of the? What if, for instance, I've called you and I'm not finished?
Well,
do I have to call you back? And is there a connection charge as well as a minute charge?
For you?
No. Let's take me out of the equation, all right? Just for anybody.
For a man?
Yes.
Well, no, it's a premium rate number.
So there's no connection charge.
Well, you ring up. I've never done it, but you ring up and you get offered a menu, and you can.
So it's not like being a psychologist.
You can put in the PIN number.
You don't have to go and get therapy yourself to be a psychotherapist. So it's not the same with a sexual
no,
a facilitator or whatever it is you call yourself.
If you like.
What do you call yourself, by the way?
A Chatline operator.
A telephone operator. Yes, very wise.
Customer service.
Customer services.
It's not on my CV. If you like the girl you talk to, we've all got our own PIN number, and they say, "Oh, can I take your PIN number and ring you again?"
Yeah.
And they ring up and they put it in, and they say, "Oh, hello, it's me again."
But don't people want to say, "Oh, can you just give me your home phone number? We're getting on really well."
Not allowed.
Not allowed. But we're getting on so well. I mean, I see a future for us.
No.
I'd really like to chat to you off the clock.
Do you really think I'd like to meet one of them? No. I've got enough problems with my ex-boyfriend. I don't want to meet no thank you.
So, Mandy, per minute, how much?
I've got the piece of paper here.
Oh, like you haven't memorised it.
I'm with a new company now.
You have to tell me, quickly.
16p per minute.
Is that all?
And then 19p per minute from 2 a.m. till 10 a.m.
Mandy, I think you're too cheap.
My special guest on this week's That Reminds Me, former Atomic Kitten, Liz McClarnon. A new single and loads of gossip. This Sunday from 2.
London's LBC 97.3.
Hello, can I help?
I'm just looking.
Lovely, aren't they?
What?
Those analogue radios.
No, I was looking at the new DAB digital radio.
We're doing a deal on analogues. Buy one, get one free.
But I don't want one.
6 for 2.
I don't want yesterday's technology.
13 for 2. 100 for 2.
I'm after a digital radio.
Okay, look, forget the buy one bit. Just take a few.
No.
Go on, take them.
I want them.
Take the radios now.
I want them.
I beg you, take them.
DAB digital radios, around twice as many stations, all in digital quality sound. Check coverage in your area at getdab.com.
Nick Abbot.
Right. Well, I don't know. Are we still on the air? Was any of that okay? Because, I read the Ofcom rules, and basically it says that I'm never working in this business again. Well, that was great. What a first call, eh? The phone number is 0870 9090 973. There's various other different ways to contact us, but that's the one I prefer.
Available on DAB Digital Radio.
London's LBC 97.3. London's LBC 97.3.
0870 9090 973. Nick Abbott.
All right, here we are again. I'm Nick Abbott in for Caroline Faraday, who is taking a well-earned break. Let's charge ahead, because it would be rude not to. Here's Lorna. Hello, Lorna.
Hello, Nick.
Lorna.
That previous caller, I bet she can't walk past a shop window without fluffing up her hair and making sure that her seams in her stockings are completely straight.
You know what? It wouldn't make the slightest bit of difference. It's all by phone.
Yes, but...
I mean, I probably sound...
over in that sort of way. Oh, I'm glad I don't know her. I think she's loved me, loved myself. Anyway, that's beside the point.
Yeah.
You were
what is the point?
Earlier on, you were talking, or you had a call. I've only been in from next door for a few minutes. I just called
from next door?
Well, one of my neighbours. I recently lost my husband, and she wanted me to go in for a cup of coffee. So and her husband was there, and a dog, and everything. It's all very nice, but that's not what I've rung up about.
That's also beside the point.
Yeah, it is. You were talking about hygiene.
Yeah, hygiene.
On the underground?
Yeah.
Only because I did not want to be here on my own over Christmas. I did something I've never done, and my husband never did. I went away for the whole of Christmas, and it was on a cruise. And everywhere, all around the ship, for a start, were these pull-out things like wet wipes that were slightly disinfectant. So if you went off the ship for a walk round wherever we went off the ship, they were available the second that you came back on board.
Wet wipes?
That type of thing, but they were disinfectant ones so that you wiped any germs off of your hands. They were around before you walked in for dinner.
Well, where were you docking? Italy?
All around the Caribbean.
Right.
Now, that...
And they thought that the Caribbean was so disgusting that
No.
needed wet wipes.
No, just a minute. If you think, sometimes... Now, I don't mean this in a crude way.
Oh, no, you're going to say something really horrible.
No, I am not.
I bet you are. Go on.
I have been into... You go into a shopping area in London, and like Brent Cross. You go into the public loo, spend a penny, you come out and you wash your hands, which is my way of coming out of the loo. You wash your hands, you drive, right?
You did it your way.
Yes, and I even pick up a paper towel to hold onto the handle.
Oh, yeah, me too. I do that too. I am steadily going crazy, because I will not touch anything. If I can get in and out of the tube without actually touching anything, I think that's a good journey.
You can't always do it. Now, this is what I'm saying. On the ship, there were loads and loads of these pull-up container things that all the way round, and even these little press-down things for disinfecting your hands. They were trying to minimise any possibility...
Of getting sued. Yeah, I would think so.
No, of getting bug passed around. Now, the other side of it...
Well, now, was the cruise... What was the average age of the people on the cruise? About 100, I bet. 150, something like that, right? People who were really susceptible to, any bug that might be going around. They didn't want a lot of dead people clogging up the aisles. Have I gone too far?
Thank you for that comment. No.
It's probably right, though.
Saga cruise, and I will...
It was a Saga cruise. They're an excellent company. My parents use them frequently.
Right. So, their standards are exceptionally high.
So I'm told.
And I will not knock that or get anybody else to knock it.
No, I wouldn't knock them either.
Right. They are superb. Now, the other side of it, as I said, people come out of a low...
Yeah, I know. I'm with you there, because what is the most... germ-laden thing in a toilet, apart from the flush handle, is the handle of the door to get out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I won't touch them.
A piece of tissue paper.
Well, sometimes there's no tissue paper. Sometimes they have those hot air blowing things, and I won't use those, because I read somewhere that they're actually worse than not washing your hands at all, because they blow concentrated bacteria all over your hands. That's what I've read. That's probably not true. The company that manufactures them is on the phone right now as I speak, saying, "Oh no, it isn't," which is just the way of these things. But no, I will pull my sleeve down in order to grab the handle to get out of the toilet. Is it just me? It can't be. And if I don't have sleeves, I'm wearing a T-shirt, I will untuck the shirt from the waistband of my jeans and use that. And if the handle happens to be quite high up, I'm contorting myself into like a kind of a ballet dancer just to get out of the loo, which is very embarrassing if somebody happens to come in and catches me doing it. But, yeah, and it's getting worse. It's not getting better, it's actually getting worse. Such that now it's not just in public conveniences and so on. I look at handles twice anywhere, like here, for instance. Going out of this studio, it's 2 doors, that's 2 handles. That's if I leave. In fact, it's 3 doors. Just to go to the toilet, I have to go through 4 doors, that's 4 handles, that's 8 handles to go there and back. I'm lucky to be alive. This is LBC. Hey, thanks, Lorna. Oh, you still speaking?
I'm trying to. Very politely. I don't scream and shout. It doesn't get you anywhere.
No,
the other
not on this
thing,
show.
connected again, slightly...
There's another thing?
Please. People that are allowed 10 or 12 visitors round their bed in a hospital.
Oh, well, let's just do one thing at a time, eh?
Right,
let's
still the same thing.
Let's stick with the wet wipes and the toilet doors, and we'll you can call back the hospital thing, all right?
Okay.
All right, thanks a lot, dear.
Bye.
I don't think she's a satisfied customer. 0870 9090 973. I'm Nick Abbott. This is LBC. Let's go with one in Barnes. Hello, John.
Hi, Nick.
How's it going?
I've spoken to you in a long time since you were doing your weekly show.
Oh, a Dog's Age, eh?
In '98.
At the V place.
And I spoke to you about an episode of South Park where they revealed who Cartman's dad was, and I hadn't seen it, so you told me.
From memory, it's his mother, right?
Yeah, his mum was that.
His mum is his dad. Yes, that's how twisted that program is. By the way, the funniest film...
Team America.
Is Team America, World Police Team America, or it's one way around or the other. It's the funniest film I've ever seen.
What was your favourite part? The Black Panther part was mine.
I don't think I can mention any part of it and still remain on the air. I'm giving it to my dad, who will appreciate it. He's going to laugh so hard he'll cough up breakfast. My mother, on the other hand, will storm from the room and say something of the order of, "We don't want to watch this, do we?" Anyway, go on.
The one thing I was going to say about, or not so much a complaint, but more of a query.
Yes, what's your query?
Have you ever watched late night TV and there's a film or a TV programme that you really want to see that's been a repeat? And you set the video for it, and you watch it the next day, and there's a person in the bottom corner of the screen signing.
Signing. Yeah, I did that. It was Rear Window, the Hitchcock classic, and I taped it, and I thought, wow, I've never actually seen this film, and I had it on, my personal video recorder, or whatever they call those things. Whatever you're supposed to call it without saying the words Sky Plus. I came to it about a week or so later, and there's someone waving his arms around, covering most of the screen. Yeah, that was kind of irritating.
I don't understand. So there's deaf people that have spent the time to learn how to sign, but haven't learned how to read?
Well, yeah, they do. All you need to do is press a button, and it provides you with the words that they're actually speaking. What gets me every time I see someone signing is, how on earth can you, with just a few hand movements, convey all of those words? Yeah. How is that possible? And if it's that easy, then wouldn't it be easier for all of us to do it? Because it seems like a lot less effort just to waggle your fingers around than it is to open your mouth and speak, no?
Yeah, exactly. It's probably like secretary shorthand, isn't it?
But I don't get how it could possibly be that you could communicate such a large amount of verbiage with just a few finger movements. I mean, I only know one finger movement.
But there's several on the street, yeah.
On a related issue, have you noticed all these nodules on the pavement?
Oh, the little spiky paving stones to make old ladies don't go skidding down the road.
No, I don't think it is that. I think it's always at crossings, and I've got bruised feet. Everywhere you go in London now, you get the bottom of your feet bruised, unless you're wearing platforms. Exactly right. And it seems to me that they didn't used to be there, and just all of a sudden, they must have ripped all of the pavements of London up and put these little... Well, they're not little, really. They're quite large. Nodules all over. All the tube platforms have got them, and it just makes it... It's made it now difficult to walk around, to find a flat surface to walk on. And I'm thinking, how much must this have cost? Presumably, it's for blind people, so that they will know where the road crossings are. I mean, that can be the only reason, right?
They can do braille with their feet?
So, if to pull up all of London's pavements must cost, what, 100 million, 200 million? It must be through the roof. How many registered blind people are there in London? When was the last time you saw one? Never. Okay, a week ago. Me, I can't never remember seeing a blind person in London.
But they're always being escorted. Every time I've seen a blind person...
Well, here's my suggestion. Would it not perhaps have been a better idea to spend the 300 million or whatever it was that they spent on doing these pavements to just give the money to the blind people and they could hire personal assistants? If I were blind, I would rather have a guide dog, for instance, or somebody who was my personal assistant to walk me round.
Or a helper monkey. And
you'd probably save £100 million. I know that might sound insensitive, but it's not. I'm just saying that in order to help, because then everyone would be happy. I can't be the only one who's... Lucy, back me up on this. I mean, you women wear shoes with virtually no soles at all. They're tiny, right?
Yeah.
Apart from the heels, which are 3 foot high. And we'll get to that later, why women insist on hobbling themselves. It's not for men, I don't think. I have a theory about this, but we'll discuss that later. But have you noticed that? The nodules on the street. What is that about?
Well, I suppose it is a sensible idea. And I actually see quite a lot of blind people in London.
Do you? I don't believe I've ever seen one.
Really? Not even walking with a dog, or...?
No.
No? No, just... Oh.
That nice man from the cabinet I saw... But that was on television.
Oh.
But there can't be that many. I mean, we're not talking millions, right?
Well, I think you'd have to be quite brave to go out in London.
Absolutely.
I feel very brave.
No question about it.
And
so, if I were blind, I would rather somebody, or a dog, paid for to show me around, rather than relying on tripping over some nodules on the street.
Yeah, you'd certainly feel safer.
Yeah. And we'd probably save a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then everyone would be happy. And what would be wrong with that?
Well, nothing.
Nothing. There you are. Problem solved. This is LBC.
Nick Abbott.
And we're back. This is LBC. It's 087090900973. He said reading it, because it's not been put to memory quite yet. Let's go with one in Bromley. Abigail.
Hello.
Abigail.
Hello, Nick. Sorry, I'm just going back, the lady said I could talk to you about Chatline operators, if that's okay.
Did she now?
She did. She said she'd stick a note up in front of you.
Go on then.
I used to be one.
What?
A Chatline operator.
You used to be one?
I used to be one.
Right. And why did you stop?
Why? Because I didn't like it. I know it sounds stupid, but what happened was I had a dog, a puppy, and I wanted to be at home with him while I was bringing him up, and I needed extra cash. So I thought I'd take up this job, which was actually advertised in a job centre.
What?
Yes.
How was it advertised? How did they describe it? Did the job centre people know what it was?
Yes, they did, because when I said I took an interest, they said, oh, well, go ahead, good luck, and sort of gave a smirk. So
I'm stunned by that.
I know.
What? The government-run job centre is giving out jobs in the sex industry?
Yes, that's what I couldn't believe that. So, and I wanted to start part-time, and but I can't really say any more about that because it was cash in hand, really. But anyway.
I think you've said too much.
But anyway, so what it was that lady was saying that they don't give out home numbers that was talking earlier.
Yeah.
What happened was they had a machine in their office, and when people ring their numbers, which is the premium rate number, it would connect to my house phone. I don't know, I don't understand technology too.
No, me either, but I get it. Go on.
But anyway, but the thing is, though, this company couldn't take it off, so I had it on 24 hours a day. So I had people ringing 24 hours a day, which was driving me potty, but... I mean,
it doesn't sound like they could understand technical things either.
Well, no, they couldn't. They said they could put it on, but they couldn't take it off.
Right, that's probably an engineer said that, right? Engineers spend their whole lives sucking their teeth and saying, tricky.
Yeah.
Every engineer I've ever met, with the exception of the one that's looking at me through the glass right now.
Oh, yeah.
He's fantastic. But every other one, there is another exception, Alex Lakey. What a genius. But they all wander around going, tricky.
But see, the thing is, I wonder if is it because I was good at my job. Because, I mean, I was advertising myself as Abigail from a certain area.
You are Abigail.
I am Abigail.
That was a bit foolish, woman.
But I'm not really.
Oh, you're not? Oh, okay, you're lying to me, too.
Yes, I am.
Right.
I'm Abigail, I'm 21, I'm blonde, I've got blonde hair.
Right, none of the above is true, right?
No, of course not, I'm overweight.
But I see, that's the beauty of just being a voice, though, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, you see, Nick, I feel sorry for the people that do ring these papers, because you get youngsters, 16, 17, 18. I mean, my children have grown up. I've got a grandson of 8.
Now, do you mean that as customers?
As customers,
Right.
and they're using up all their credit on their phone.
Well, they're probably using up their parents' credit, is what they're doing.
Well, you know, you know...
I mean, if these things are a premium for a landline, then what it must cost to phone them on a mobile doesn't even bear thinking about.
But that's it, but I mean, this is where these people got me, because they're actually getting the phone calls put on my landline. As I said, technology.
So when were you did you stop because you just you became all moral about it and you didn't want to?
I did, because I've got a son of 18, a daughter of 24.
I bet you didn't put it on speakerphone.
Sorry?
Never mind. Go on.
No, I didn't. No. No, I'm a bit lost now. No, it's my first time doing this. I'm really nervous.
Yeah, well, you and me both. Yeah. We'll loosen up in, about 3 hours, or we'll be great. On the drive home, I'll be fantastic. You wait.
Oh, you'd have to give me a ring later then, won't you?
Yeah. What's your home number? All right. Hey, listen, thanks, Abigail. I've got to go, all right. Oh, another satisfied customer. Hey, sorry about that. 0870 90 973. Here's a guy in South Derbyshire. Is there anybody there that listens to this show in London?
Hello, Nick, it's me.
Adrian.
I was in South Derbyshire.
You clean toilets?
Well, I didn't start to clean toilets. It's actually Adrian can't get laid, if you remember it, Nick.
Yeah, I know.
All right, yeah.
Nobody knows who you are on this show. No. You'll have to call me at my old show. Get in a time machine and go and call the old show, and then people will know who you are.
Yeah.
Precious few people care on this. This is Caroline Faraday's show. She's got no idea who you are.
No.
So anyway, you clean toilets for a living?
Well, that's not what it started off as, because you remember I used to work in a biscuit factory. Well, way back. Well, that sort of went belly upwards. So I sort of panicked. I got this other job. It's within the same company.
So you clean the toilets in a factory?
Yeah, well, not always. It's just like covering somebody. Normally I'm a scrubber.
Excuse me?
I don't know if you see them. Yeah, you see people, like the road sweeps, you see people walk out.
Well, let me ask you this. You clean the toilet with a brush, right?
Yeah.
Do you use the same brush for inside the pan as you use on the toilet seat?
No, you have to use a cloth on the toilet seat.
Right. Is that a yes?
Maybe. Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know if you realise this, but I mean, you have to do women's toilets as well. Sometimes.
Right, well, you put a little sign outside saying not in use.
Yeah.
Like, not while they're actually in there, you don't clean them.
And, like, set the... Well, I was going to swear now, but... Because they're actually... Oh, look, there's a man in the toilet.
Right, well, you just, use your brain and excuse yourself, as I'm going to have to do now. Thanks a lot, mate. Gotta go.
Okay, cheers, then.
This is LBC. I'm Nick Abbott. Here's a guy in Berkhamsted. Chris.
Hi there.
How are you?
Yeah, I can't agree with you more about those nodules. Total and utter waste of time.
So they've spread to Berkhamsted as well?
They're everywhere, mate.
But they didn't use it. So when, let me just, you use a white stick, right?
Yeah, I do use
That's
white
what it
stick.
says on the
I'm
thing,
not too bad. I'm going blind, unfortunately, but at night time I've got no vision.
Right, so you will notice these things much more than anybody else.
Yeah,
is it a recent phenomenon, or have I just noticed it recently?
Because they think they've got to do something for... all I need is some money for a taxi so I don't get mugged with my white stick.
Right.
Yeah, that would be good.
But are these nodules on the pavement, is it just that I've noticed them recently, or have they only just put them in recently?
A few years, but they're in the wrong place. They're not in safe places. If you speak to my rehab worker who trained me to use the white cane, They're a total and utter waste of time. The people who are partially sighted or blind don't use them.
So, if you went back 5 years, say, there wouldn't be any. If you looked at the pavements 5 years ago, they weren't there.
They went back, I think, a bit longer than that.
All right, well...
what you were saying, all the money they spend on that, thousands and thousands.
Oh, no, it must be hundreds of millions, because to pull up the street, you've got to get a team of, like, 7 guys, 5 of which are leaning on their shovels or making tea,
and
whatever
they're in the wrong place. It's not always safe to cross.
And then it takes them a week to do it, and the cones are still up there, and money. So it must be a gigantic amount of money.
Yes, exactly. You know, most people with a disability, we get around, we do things, no problem.
And would you have preferred, and this, me saying a personal assistant, that was a bit flippant, but perhaps
just give me the money for the taxi.
Exactly,
so that's with me white stick.
Right. So just take a fraction of the money that it cost to mutilate our pavements.
Exactly.
Put it into your bank account so that you can, or better than that, there should be free. You should be able to get a free cab.
No, but you don't do that.
What do you mean?
You don't get it. I can get a half-fare bus pass, or I can get £55 worth of taxi vouchers for a year.
Right, but if we spent a fraction of the money that we had, we've already spent on mutilating the pavements and giving us all bruises on the bottom of our feet, and put it into the bank accounts of the people with sight problems in the country, then they'd all be able to afford cabs.
Exactly.
And everyone would be happy, right?
White sticks.
I can't believe that I got this right.
Yeah. Can I tell you a quick story about my friend with the guide dog?
How long is it?
Very, very quick. He's going through Euston, right?
He's ploughing ahead. Go on.
Ploughing ahead with his guide dog. Although he's registered blind, he's got some little bit of use of vision. Asked woman for a direction. She bent down and told the guide dog where to go. That's a true story.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Yeah, bye, mate.
I'm Nick Abbott. This is LBC.
Nick Abbott.
And we're back. This is LBC. I'm in for Caroline Faraday. Route person. No, there's a line through 9. Lucy. Oh, you just noticed that, eh? Oh, you knew that. All right. But it doesn't work. Pop your fader down first. That. Shanty.
Hello.
Hey, Shanty.
Hi.
Great name.
Thank you. My last name's even cooler. Guess what it is?
Don't tell me.
Dragon.
So you told me. If you ever come on the radio again, don't tell people your whole name, because right now people are Googling you on the internet, and you'll be knocking on your door before you know it.
I tried it today on Images, and it just has a picture of like a dragon that says peace underneath it, because my first name means peace.
How old are you, dear?
11.
What are you doing up at 11, being 11?
Because it's Friday.
Oh, Friday.
Half term.
So you half term already? Do you kids never actually go to school at all, do you?
Yes, we do. And I had to stay behind for 50 minutes after school.
Why?
Detention. It was a late detention.
Why?
Because I was late, for 5 minutes, so they gave me a 50-minute detention.
No, that's not why they gave you a 50-minute detention.
It is, because it's like between 1 and one day I was late for 5 minutes, and one day I was late for 10.
Well, see, that's exactly what I mean. They didn't give you a detention for being 5 minutes late.
Yeah,
they gave you detention for multiple infringements of the rules.
No, 15 minutes. 15 minutes,
Right.
And they make it a 50-minute detention.
Right. Quite right too, because it's not once, it was twice. It's like it's like in football. If you kick a player here, there, and there, then you'll get a yellow card. And each of those individual fouls wouldn't have got you a yellow card straight away. But it's they just add up.
Yeah.
So what do you really hate about school?
Oh no, I like school.
Oh no, there must be something you really hate about it.
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, think, girl.
I like science, and I like drama.
Drama?
Yeah. But PE's a bit rubbish, because we have to go out in the freezing cold.
I can remember being out for double football once, which I used to hate with a passion, such that I used to cling to the outside... What?
I love football.
I used to cling to the outside of the pitch in a desperate hope that the ball wouldn't come anywhere near me. And it was in February, and you go out there for an hour, and the gym instructor, right enough, he was covered in clothes from head to foot, and we were in shorts and T-shirts. My hands were so cold, I couldn't move them to button my shirt to go home. I went home in the middle of February in snow with my shirt open.
And they make us play, well, like, say if it snows, they still will make us play. We're not even allowed to put our school jumpers on. I think it's cruel.
Do you think that kids today are more or less stupid than they used to be?
I don't know, because I'm quite clever, not to be vain, but I've got an IQ of 117.
117?
Yeah.
You know what, but having an IQ of 117 just means that you're good at IQ tests.
No, they were actually really, really hard. No, because, do you know about, like, stats and stuff?
SATs? Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying?
Basically, you have, like, these testing...
Tests, right, yeah. And all those tests show is that you're good at doing those tests.
No, it tells you if you're good at these subjects, because it's maths, science, and English there. And, like, the levels are...
So you're good at maths?
No, I'm good at maths and science.
Okay. What are 6/8?
Pardon?
6/8.
Why?
You want to hazard a guess? She's running for the calculator.
Oh, I had...
Yeah, right. This is LBC.
Available on DAB Digital Radio.
London's LBC 97.3. London's LBC 97.3.
0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbot.
So they're going to redevelop Wandsworth, eh? Well, I'd like to talk about that in a bit. Developers. But in relation to that last call, it said in the Telegraph on Thursday, university admissions tutors, and now these people should know what they're talking about, have warned the government that the reputation of higher education is being put at risk by falling standards in literacy, numeracy and study skills among school leavers. What are 6/8s? Any idea? School pupils are being spoon-fed to pass exams instead of being encouraged to develop knowledge and understanding. As a result, they arrive at university expecting to be told the answers. In other words, stupid. The damning comments are contained in the most comprehensive study undertaken on what admissions staff think of their students. It says that today's students, even those with top grades at leading institutions, are likely to lack independent thought, have a fear of numbers, and prefer the internet to books. We're producing idiots. Has anybody of an age that would notice that children these days are far more intelligent than they used to be? Because if you look at the exam results, that's what that would suggest. The results suggest that kids today are far more intelligent than they used to be. I mean, when I... no, this is going to sound like a Yorkshire sketch. When I was a lad, about 5% of the population went to university. Now the government is pushing for 50%. For what reason? Why? Why do you want 50% of the population to go to university, other than so that the people in power can get up and say, look, under our munificent leadership, 50% of the population is now under higher education. Education, education, education. There can't be any other reason, because you've got rafts of kids coming out of university who know absolutely nothing, who can't count, can't add, and they're doing media studies course. Or leisure, or just ridiculous things that are never going to do them any good at all. But the numbers, you see, it's the statistics. It looks as though it's going tremendously well. If you've got half of school leavers going to higher education, it looks as though they're all much brighter than they used to be, because of the the great policies that the government of the day is following. But it's just not the case. It's just statistics. It just appears as though that's the case. The tutors blame the league table culture of the past few years. And it's the same thing with the NHS as well. I've got a few friends who are doctors. And I've begged them to come on shows that I've done like this, but they just absolutely won't, because I know, as well as you do, that if you are a whistleblower these days, and you tell the public something that they should actually know, that is in the public interest to know, then the official response will not be, oh, crikey, that's terrible, let's do something about that problem, the official response will be, oh crikey, who told you about this problem, let's fire them. They said that one of the methods that the NHS trusts use to bring down waiting lists is, for instance, as you know, there's an edict now that says you can only be in accident and emergency for half an hour without getting seen. I don't know if half an hour is the figure, but it's something along those lines. So what they do is, my jaw dropped when I heard this. So in order to meet the government targets, they will take somebody and wheel them into the corridor so that they're not in accident and emergency anymore, and therefore they've done their bit by the regulations. Isn't that incredible? So anytime you hear anybody spouting statistics, or anybody getting up and saying, oh no it isn't, just listen to because they've got rafts of people coming up with this stuff, just think, well, you know, maybe that's not quite right. We've got a bloke on a mobile, so it'd be kind of, is he gone? He's on 9. It'd be kind of rude not to take him straight away. And there's no name. Who are you, no name?
Hi.
Hello.
It's not me. It's not me.
It sounds like you.
Hi, Nick. Firstly, it's nice to hear you back on the phones again.
Hey, thanks.
Secondly, right, you've been having a go at people, like, who do like media and that. And I don't think it's a cop-out subject at all. Because it's like, it does help you if you do actually want to get into the media industry.
You know, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
You have to do a lot of work experience in...
Exactly. Yes, precisely. You have to do work experience. That is what's going to get you into a job in the media, not studying media.
Yeah, but you have to do work experience as part of, like, a course at university.
Yeah, but if you just skipped the course at university and gone straight to doing the experience, then you would have been no further ahead. You'd have been at exactly the same point, and it wouldn't have cost us or you 30 grand or whatever it is that it costs to put someone through university these days. It's just a complete waste of time. I mean, you're doing a media studies course now, right?
Yeah.
What was the last... Do people do essays anymore, or
we
just
do
chat?
We do assignments.
Assignments. Well, what does that mean?
It's like an essay.
Like an essay? Well, what's like an essay? It's either an essay or it isn't.
It's like 1,000 or 2,000 words.
Right. So it's an essay.
Yeah.
Right.
They're called assignments.
And what was the subject of your last essay? Isn't EastEnders great or something like that?
Well, we've got a few. We've got to film a program. Basically, it's like a film.
You've got to film a program?
Yeah.
About what?
About anything, really. We've chosen to do a film, like a short drama. We've got to do all the pre-production stuff, and all the paperwork and all the health and safety is rubbish. And, we've been filming it, and then we've got to do the post-production and stuff like the editing and that.
Well, that doesn't sound like a complete waste of time, but you could have done all... Yeah, but you could have done all that without going to university, though. You could have just done that with a handycam. Steven Spielberg didn't go and study media at university. He just went out and did it.
It depends what you're doing, though. I mean, like, A-levels I think are a bit of a waste of time. But if you do, like, the more practical courses, they do help for experience, even if it's just that.
I mean, the amount of kids that I've come across in this business that are on work experience who do media studies are vast. And the only way that they're actually going to get a job is if they do well in their work. Well, there's two ways in. Either they're incredibly hot-looking, that's true, or they do well and they please everybody. The best way for you to get a job is to just be nice and have everyone like you.
Yeah.
Be super keen, don't expect to get paid anything, and just smile a lot.
Definitely. Well, I've always wanted to do, like, radio and stuff like that. So.
Don't do radio.
Honestly, I do want to do it.
Don't do it. Trust me. This is the word from the inside. What do you want to do in radio?
I want to be a presenter.
A presenter. What kind of presenter?
I'm a music.
A music presenter. Okay, you couldn't be more wrong. Don't do it. I'll tell you why. There's several reasons why. First of all, why do you want to be a music presenter?
Because I love music and I love...
Right, okay, so that's the wrong reason for a start. When you become a professional music presenter, you will not choose any of the music you play. There'll be a big green button on the desk in front of you, and it's marked Next. That's the only thing you... Now, listen to me because I know what I'm talking about, all right? That's the only thing you will do. All the music comes up on a screen. It will not be chosen by you. It will be chosen by a computer. And all you do, you don't put CDs in anymore. You don't play records or any of that sort of manual stuff that used to be quite groovy. You just press the button that's marked Next, and the next track starts. And when you speak, you're not speaking off the top of your head, because another reason that people want to get into be a DJ is that they want to say their funny things, right? Presumably that's what you want to do, yeah?
No, I don't want to say my funny things. I'm not funny, so...
All right, just to impart your interesting stories or your opinions and such like, right? Yeah. Okay, well, you don't get to do that either. All you get to do is just read what's on the screen, which usually is how great the breakfast show is, or the competition that we've got coming up, or, stuff like that. If you're a music presenter, you might as well be a robot. So that's the first reason why you don't want to be a music presenter on the radio. And the second reason is their day is nigh. There aren't going to be DJs presenting music for very much longer, because people of your age don't listen to music radio anymore. They listen to their iPods, and they listen to streaming music off the internet, none of which have ads and weather and jingles and DJs and all of that other clutter that people, when they're surveyed, always say they don't like. Every survey of music radio people, when asked, what do you not like, always, number one is the DJs, which kind of makes you wonder why people spend so much on their services. And companies are going to realise that very soon, as they have done in America, because what happens in America, it happens here. Well, it used to be 5 years later, and it's speeding up now as the speed of information transfer just gets faster and faster. What happens in America will happen here. And it's really the only way of having any longevity in this business that I can see, because I don't think DJs are it, is being a talk show host.
Yeah. You would say that though, wouldn't you?
Well, no, because I do both.
Yeah.
And I like both. But I just don't think that being a music DJ has got very much future in it. I think that my current generation of music DJs are probably going to be among the last.
Yeah.
Which is, it's either good or bad, depending on whether you like DJs or not. Personally, I'm not too keen.
I like them.
But if you do it, it's one of the few things that is so completely different in the amateur and professional form. Like if you're an amateur photographer and a professional photographer, it's more or less the same, right? But if you're an amateur DJ on your university station or hospital radio or whatever, it's totally different to being a professional DJ. They couldn't be less alike. Because the whole reason that people get into doing amateur radio, and the reason that they'll do it for no money, is because they get to choose their own music and, say their witty things and just have, their own show. And there's so few people. I could count on, I could count maybe 5 at most in professional radio who present a music show that actually do their own thing. And most of them have come from television. If you want a career in radio in this country, you absolutely have to be a television presenter.
Right. That's all, raining all over that.
Yeah, it's like having a conversation with your dad, isn't it?
Not really. You're cooler than my dad.
I'm cooler than your dad. Well, I'd like to take that as a compliment, but it's probably not saying that much.
Compliment.
Nick Abbot.
Oops. See, that's another difference between being a music presenter and being a speech presenter. You don't have control of your own microphone, which is potentially disastrous. So it's 0870 90 90 973. Bring in food, they said. That's about the only thing that people said. All over the buildings. Oh, how are you? Yes, very nice. Don't forget to bring in food. I've never known that before. Everybody's like, oh, you won't forget to bring in food, will you? Anyway, it's 0870 909. So I did. I brought in food, and I'm enjoying a sponge cake with plain chocolate and a smashing orangey bit. If it's good enough for the England team, it's good enough for me. Let's go with Glasgow. See, there is nobody listening to this show in London. It's Mark. Hello, Mark.
How you doing, Nick?
I'm all right, thanks, mate.
Good to hear you talking again, mate. It's been a while.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway, a couple of questions. I know how much you like your Floyd and your Joe Walsh and things. Are you going to see Dave Gilmour live?
Well, I would, except that I found out too late, and all the tickets have gone.
Honestly?
I'm thinking of trying to use my connections, or
I think you should.
Or more honestly, trying to use someone else's connections who I know.
That's it. Yeah. I had to take a day off working and actually get a warning just so I could stay up to get the tickets online.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. How come I'm in the business? How come I found out so late? Apparently, Dave Gilmour has a new album coming out.
Yeah, and the tour is he's actually touring. Rick Wright's playing keyboards for him.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's all the like the Division Bell live group that are playing with him. So I'll probably do it. If I die the day after the tour,
you'd be happy.
Yeah, I'll be over it.
Yeah.
Another couple of questions about Floyd. What did you think of Floyd at Live Aid?
I thought it was really embarrassing.
Honestly?
Yeah, I thought they were terrible.
Did you? The one thing I thought was really funny, you see at the end when they were all going off their heads to Hey Jude, and all you seen was a picture of Dave Gilmour at the back with all these like African children in front of him, and they looked awful like, I shouldn't be here. You know what I mean?
I think that it was just, Chris, I was looking forward to it, quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't sing, like, at all.
I thought Dave was okay.
He was all right, but Roger Waters, that was awful. I mean, that was spectacularly bad. But Roger Waters used to be the one that could sing in that band, wasn't he?
No.
I mean, none of them were that great, let's face it.
No, they were never great vocalists. Roger was always a bit bassy, but Dave was always good for the old high notes.
But, no, I think it was a massive letdown. Almost everything on that day was a massive letdown. I'm racking my brain trying to think of anything that was good. I mean, Elton John and...
that was quite fun. That was quite surreal.
It was among the worst things I've ever seen on a stage. I mean, that was just... What is Elton John thinking of? I mean, I know that he's desperate for continued success. And why, heaven only knows. But he just continue. He's kind of like Richard Branson. I guess he's like all of those really continually successful people. He just can't stop. And it's not the money anymore, and it's not the success. It's just it's just doing it because it's still there.
The other one that annoyed me, Nick, was it's Bono. It's like he seems to be some sort of world leader for peace now. It's like give this, give that, and hold on, I need to leave in my Lear jet to go to my next gig.
I can't take anyone seriously who wears sunglasses indoors.
Yeah,
that's just plain silly.
Totally, mate. So I know last one. Sorry about the Floyd again, but do you want them to reform? I hope they won't ever think about doing something like that again.
You know what? I don't really care. I mean, nothing they'll do from now on could possibly touch the those 4 albums in the middle there.
What are the 4 you're talking about? I can think of 5.
Well, Medal, Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, Animals. That's it. That's all you need. If you're going down to buy things that you don't that are gaps in your collection.
Yeah,
those are the 4 that you need.
I'm quite fond of Obscure Because myself, a bit of Childhood's End. Great song. Great unknown one. A bit early. Dave Gilmour, if you ask me. Anyway, I'm going on this tangent, mate.
Yeah, I think I probably know the reason why. I think the garage will be shut in about, 8 minutes' time?
It's okay, mate.
Garage will be shut at 11:30. And if you've got the munchies, then you need to sprint down there, all right?
I'm fine, mate.
Thanks
a lot. To hear you again, Nick. Thanks a lot.
Ta-ta.
Cheers, mate.
This is LBC. I'm Nick Abbott, in for Caroline Faraday, who's taking a short break. Uxbridge is more or less in London, isn't it? So let's try that one. It's Robert. Hello.
Yes, Uxbridge is very nice today.
As a matter of fact, have we spoken to you already? Oh, no, we haven't. No, Uxbridge. I went to Uxbridge.
Brunel?
Brunel University is in Uxbridge, yeah.
Yeah.
Way out at the end of the Piccadilly line.
And they make the bread here.
What bread?
I can't say, can I?
Bread?
Yeah, the King's.
The King's bread?
King's Mill.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
I had no idea. Is that where Kingsmill comes from, eh? Beautiful, sunny Uxbridge.
And I think the red canned Coke as well.
Really?
I believe so.
I was in a world of my own when I was there. It was the 4 years, and I remember precious little of it.
Vile area, really.
I didn't do any work, so that's probably why I don't know where all the factories are, because I wasn't looking for work at the time. I was one of the last of the students who actually got a totally free ride. I didn't pay for a thing. I don't think the parents paid for a thing either. And it was almost immediately after I finished that they started charging us. Ha ha.
Well, they started charging in 99, didn't they?
99?
You're not that young, Nick, I'm sure.
No, I'm not. Oh, I must have lost 10 years there. That explains a lot, actually.
Drinking drugs, was it?
No.
Too lazy to do that.
So why Uxbridge? I mean, you sound familiar, and I think Wales is where you normally come from. You're at Uxbridge University?
No, I'm just pretending I'm from London.
Right.
But
because otherwise it's getting embarrassing. We haven't got a single person who's actually in London listening to this show right now.
I help you, but you just stabbed in my face.
I know, yeah.
I should just say that I'm also on student radio, and it's an awful experience.
Awful?
Well, I'm one of the people in charge of the radio station.
Management. You don't want to be in management. Too much stress.
Far from. I think management's perfect. I'm rubbish on the air. But I can manage quite well. I can tell people what to do.
Yeah, and in the amateur field, I guess it's okay because you're not under pressure as a manager, really.
Well,
I mean, you're not going to get no one's going to fire you if you don't get great audience figures, right?
Well, trust me, we cheer when we get 4 people listening.
Exactly. Yes.
That's a good week.
No one listens to student radio, so no one cares. But out in the real world, being in management is way too much stress for me.
Well, I've got to find a career now. Last time I spoke to you, I was asking you what university I should go to. Now I'm coming to the last 3 months of my degree.
And it's a degree in what?
In politics.
Politics? What are you going to do with that? See, that's another one of those useless subjects like media studies or leisure or this total waste of time.
No, well, I'm going to convert to do law next year.
Well, see, law, now there's an obvious career path. But politics, what are you going to do with that?
Well, Greg Dyke did politics, and he became very rich. And
well, I'm sure you could point out that, to any subject that you care to mention, including knitting, that people went on to become millionaires. But
I just think of that.
But, it's not the case for everybody. Politics, well, I mean, what can that get you? You're going to be a politician?
No, Jesus, no. I did an internship down the Welsh Assembly recently.
Oh, yeah.
Vile. Absolutely horrible.
And what kind of a job are they doing there at the moment? Is it all working efficiently?
Well,
I'll take that as a no.
It's just like any other office. Which members of the assembly are doing one another, that kind of stuff.
Let me ask you a question about their furniture, because I'm fascinated by the furniture that people who don't have to care about budgets buy for themselves. So the chairs that they sit on, I'm guessing Charles Eames or those Aeron chairs. Like that, right?
What, chairs in their office or?
Yeah, in their office. In their office.
Well, support staff get the 20 quid rubbish.
Of course they do. The bright blue ones. Yeah.
Give me a bad back.
Mm-hmm.
And the luxury chairs the members sit on, I don't know what they're from, but they obviously cost a few £100.
Because I went to the Houses of Parliament. They do a tremendous open day. It's called Open Key Day or something like that, where they open buildings in London that are normally forbidden to the public in the autumn. Yeah. And I went into the new Parliament building, and they only showed you a couple of rooms. It's the what's the name of that new Parliament? That hideous lump that's opposite the Houses of Parliament. Portcullis House, exactly right. And inside there is a debating chamber. Tony Blair was pictured in that, as was Jack Straw just the other day. And in this one room, there must be 200 chairs, something like that. Every single one was Charles Eames Classic.
Oh yeah.
Now these chairs cost about £1,300 each. Now, you can buy a perfectly comfortable chair for, as you said, 20 quid. You see adverts in the paper for them for $49.99 all the time. But that wasn't good enough for the people who, excuse me, who are buying these chairs with our money. You understand that companies, ICI and Shell and all these big companies, they'll always have the classic chairs in the foyer, and the executives will, want their posterior expensively furnished. What are we going to now? Just 1 second. A break. Is it very important that we do it right now? Okay, go ahead.
I can hold.
Nick Abbot.
Right, tell me, what happens next? I've forgotten. 20 seconds, right. Okay, so my point was that when people are not spending their own money, they will spend our money like it's going out of style. There must have been £100,000 worth of chairs in that one room, and there was £100,000 worth of chairs because it was our money.
Available on DAB Digital Radio. London's LBC 97.3. London's LBC 97.3.
Nick Abbot.
0870 90 90 973.
So I heard on the news at 11 o'clock that they're going to redevelop Waterloo, and I thought, oh yeah, sure they are. And what do you think they're going to redo? How do you think it's going to look? I'll tell you exactly how it's going to look. It's going to be stumpy buildings of no architectural merit whatsoever, containing executive flatlets, just like every inch along the Thames from the city all the way down to Kew Gardens. It looks exactly the same. And if you go into these buildings, every flat in those buildings is precisely the same, no matter which building you're in, no matter what developer has knocked them up. They're all the same. Featureless little laminate-floored boxes with no cupboards and bedrooms that you could... if you put a double bed in, there's no actual room to stand. In other words, they're for people who don't live there. They're for companies to buy up and rent out. How, I'm wondering, did these people get planning permission to put these things up? Because none of them have got any architectural merit. One of them is so hideous it makes your eyeballs fry when you look at it. There's a purple and pink building that's sitting right next to one of the most magnificent edifices in the whole of London. Right next to Battersea Power Station, they put one of these executive flatlet buildings that's purple and pink. Have you seen it? It's staggering. Could be the most hideous modern building. I mean, there's a lot of hideous 60s architecture, that lumpy, brutalist concrete stuff. But this thing it's so bad, you just laugh out loud. You cannot believe what you're looking at. Right next to Battersea Power Station. That beautiful, which to me just speaks Pink Floyd, the Animals cover. It's as beautiful in real life as it is, on the cover when you've been listening to the album. So how do these people get planning permission if, when you go to get planning permission for a little extension to your house or a small conservatory on the back of it, the answer that you will always get after a 3-month wait is no. Here's another one of these government targets. They insisted that... because they got so many complaints that people were asking for planning permission and it takes forever. So the government stepped in and said, oh, I'll tell you what, we'll now insist that you must give them an answer within 8 weeks. So what the councils do is they look at the applications in exactly the same speed as they used to, and at the 8-week period, if they haven't made a decision, they'll just say no. Job done. That's exactly what they're doing. Ask any architect, because those are the people that have to deal with them all the time, and that is precisely what is happening. All of these statistics and league tables and all of this stuff that the government is doing in order to say, look how great we're doing, is having completely the opposite effect to that which they are portraying. And anybody that's been through planning will know exactly what I'm talking about. Anything you want, the answer's no. Unless, bizarrely, you are a multi-million pound international corporation that wants to throw up hideous buildings that no one actually wants to live in. Then it's a green light all the way. Wonder why? Huh. Because the only difference between you, what you want to do as an individual, and what they want to do, is the hundreds of millions of pounds that the two groups differ on what they've actually got in their pockets. I know that didn't come out very well, but you know what I mean. I mean, a lot of people would say that the whole of the planning system in this country is utterly corrupt, and I would say that that's an outrageous suggestion. Let's go with Gary in Norbury. Hey, Gary.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right.
At last, something more intelligent, caustic, and carping, as you always are. You were talking earlier on about radio presentation.
Yes.
Radio presenters who are not sort of passionate about their music or what have you.
No, I didn't say that. It doesn't matter whether you're passionate about your music. If you want to get into music radio, it doesn't make the slightest bit of difference. You won't be able to play any of the music that you're passionate about. You'll just have to pretend to be passionate about whatever comes up next when you press the button that's marked next.
Yeah, but I think there's always been sort of caustic.
Here comes that word again, caustic.
Yeah, caustic. But passionate people who are on the radio.
There's always a few people who are on at times when no one is listening that are able to play their own music. Like, for instance,
John Peel.
Good old John Peel. Bless him. That's right.
Very sharp.
I found it amusing that that the BBC was falling over itself to say how great they thought John Peel was, when in reality they'd stuck him on at a time which was just so embarrassingly bad for listenership. They basically wanted him off the station.
Yeah, exactly.
Or at least that's the way it looked. And then when he went, they were falling over themselves to say how much they supported him.
Yeah.
Yes.
A great loss.
They hated the fact that he got a younger audience than almost anything else on that station, and they hated it because he was so old. They couldn't get it, because the mantra in this business is, if you want to talk to young people, you have to be young. And the man was he's 60 years old. He looked like he swallowed a space hopper. I mean, he was gigantically fat.
Yeah.
No wonder he had physical health problems. But and looking like he did in this visual age, and being as old as he was, he still got the largest percentage of teenagers listening to his show.
Yeah. Almost ostracized in a sort of way.
Yeah, they were basically pushing him off the station.
Yeah.
Until he died, and then they wanted to bring him back in again. Oh, we loved John.
Great show. Great show.
Who, his or mine?
Yours.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate. See you later.
Ta-ta. 0870 90 90 973. Let's go with Leanne in Kensington. I've obviously done that wrong. Root, Leanne, on air. There it is.
Hello?
Leanne.
Hi.
How you doing, Leanne?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm super, thanks for asking. Actually, my eyelids feel like they're made of sandpaper. I've got this throbbing headache behind my eyeballs. All of my bones ache. Apart from that, I'm great.
Oh, okay. Did you know it's my birthday tomorrow?
I did not.
Yes, it is. I'm going to be 21.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much.
21, eh?
Yeah.
That used to be a milestone, but now it doesn't actually mean anything, does it? What can you do after you're 21 that you couldn't do before? I don't think there's anything, is there?
I don't think so. I don't think there is anything.
Because it used to be you could drink and...
I think that's like 18 now, so... Ooh.
18?
Yeah.
It's more like 12.
That's true.
12 around my way. 12, yeah.
Yeah.
So 21, eh?
Yeah.
I don't remember it well. I remember virtually nothing before I was 30. My 30th birthday, I can remember what I did. I can remember what I did on my 40th.
Yeah.
21, no idea. Not a clue.
Were you a bit smashed?
Well, I don't know. I don't even know where I was. I've got no recollection of 21 at all. So what have you got planned?
Nice family do, and then probably go out with friends later.
A family do?
Yeah.
That'll be embarrassing. Who's coming?
Family.
Yeah.
Cousins and aunts and...
Oh, the extended family.
Yeah.
People are going to be patting you on the head, saying, haven't you grown?
Yeah.
And, why do you want to put yourself through that?
I love my family. I love to do that.
Right. But the part which you followed that with, and then you want to go out with your friends.
Yeah.
Right. And you'll be watching the clock, right?
Yeah. I think
So at what time do you get to leave? 9.
Pretty early, yeah.
Yeah, see? Oh, I love my family. Yeah, right. Can't wait to get away from them. So what's the real plan then? When you leave with your friends, or can you say?
I think probably a nice meal with friends and drink.
Blimey, you are grown up. A meal with friends? Whatever happened to going mental?
Well, that's going to come afterwards.
Oh, it's in 3 stages, your birthday.
Yeah. It's going to be quite good. It's my 21st after all. You know, the key to the door and everything.
So you're still living at home with your parents?
Yeah.
You're not married, so obviously you haven't had sex yet. I think you're laughing too loudly there, Leah.
Okay, I'll laugh.
Oh dear, what a giveaway. Well, have a happy birthday. What are you going to get?
I don't know. Probably CDs, hopefully. Haven't got that many at the moment.
Well, they haven't asked you what you want. I mean, it's even though there is no there's nothing to being 21 anymore. It's still, you know, to your parents, to people of your parents' age, it's still quite a psychological event.
Yeah. Well, I think they're finding it quite special, so they probably might give me something nice, hopefully.
No clues? You haven't rifled through the cupboards?
Oh, no, I can't. I love surprises. I'm a sucker for surprises.
Would you be surprised to get a car?
Oh, I'd love to get a car.
Hey, do you want to play?
Very surprised.
Do you want to play the game?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't even know what it is.
Go on then, tell me what it is.
The prize for this game is anything you want, which I will buy with my own money.
Wow.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Conditions apply.
Okay. What are
The presenter's decision is final.
Okay.
No communication will be entered into.
Right.
Who are these famous people saying the word Are you ready?
Okay.
That was one person. Super famous. It was in the papers today, as a matter of fact.
I didn't look at the papers today.
You don't need to. You will like this bloke, being a woman. Seriously. For anything you want, I will buy with my own money in an actual shop. Conditions apply. The presenter's decision is final. No communication will be entered into. One of the most famous people on the planet. Come on, Leanne.
That is really hard.
Do you want a clue?
Yes.
He's saying now. That's him there. Here's another one. Easy.
Absolutely no clue.
Oh, come on. Anything you want, I'll buy with my own money in an actual shop. Conditions apply. The presenter's decision is final. No communication will be entered into.
It's too hard.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
How about this one?
Yeah,
How can you not like that bloke? Huh? You don't know any of these? Simon Cowell?
Yeah.
Simon Cowell? That sounds like Simon Cowell to you.
The first time it did.
You are a shower. And I really mean that. Okay, well, it sounds like you're a loser, baby, so why don't we kill you?
Okay.
Well, have a happy birthday, Leanne.
Thank you.
And once again, ta-da.
Thanks.
This is, I almost said the name of a place I used to work at. I haven't done that in a good long while. LBC.
London's LBC 97.3. 0870 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
Yes, what she just said. This is LBC. I'm Nick Abbott, and I'm going to do a poll. I was going to do a poll tonight, but let me get my feet under the table because you know, I've kind of forgotten how to do this. So I'll do it tomorrow, and it will be this. We're going to do a text poll, right? It's Anne. What's her name? Anne Diamond. Oh, chubby cheeks. Oh. She's put a band around her stomach in order to lose weight, which seems a little extreme. And I was thinking, what shade of desperate do you have to be to go on a show where the only qualification for entry is that you're fat? I mean, not that you sing or dance or any one of these stupid reality shows, or that you can stand up on ice, or whatever the BBC have come up with as a desperate attempt to copy the success of Pop Idol. Don't get me started on the BBC copying ITV's successes with our money. But the only reason that these people are on this show, do you know? Have you seen this, Lucy? This Celebrity Fat Club. I mean, they call it Celebrity Fit Club, but it's not, is it? They're not fit. They're fat. Who else is on it? Who cares, right?
I don't pay enough attention to it, really.
Oh, come on.
There's a really big chap who nearly died. I know he was politically...
And that makes you laugh?
That didn't make me laugh, but...
I think you just did.
Well, sort of, yeah, it slipped out.
Agents all over town have never had it so good. Because people that they couldn't put on TV for love nor money are suddenly getting on all over the place. People you haven't seen in ages. And it's all because of these stupid reality shows, which are propagating as flies do, because you lot keep watching them. I watch some of them. Pop Idol is actually an excellent show, particularly the part where they have thousands of people come in to get shouted at. But it's a bit like a Victorian freak show, because a lot of these people look actually mentally ill. So I feel a little guilty in finding pleasure in their obvious distress, because while they have no talent of any description, they obviously think that they do. They're deluded, and we find humour in their delusion. But, you know, we've been looking at freak shows as a nation for hundreds of years, so why stop now? But it's also a very well put together programme. It's actually funny. I mean, most of it is, of course, Simon Cowell, and it's the tension, is what is he going to say? I mean, the other two are just there for balance and to make people, you know, to comfort people when they burst out crying. But he's, Russell Grant was the man you were thinking of. Right, that lump. And, right, so it's this Fat Club thing, and I'm thinking, how desperate to revive your career would you have to be to go on a show where the only reason to go on it is that you are fat, that you've eaten too much? And so I was going to do a poll. Who do you think is the most desperate person on television? Who has the least self-respect of anybody on television? And we'll take Anne Diamond out of the equation because I've given you that one already. But that's something to think about tomorrow. I'll do a poll. I mean, I'm trying to get my head around the few controls that I have. And without much success so far, as a matter of fact. I've got 2 faders and 1 button. And so far, how am I doing? Yeah, right.
You've got 3 faders.
You're nodding your head, but your eyes say otherwise. Right, let's go with John in Norwood. Oh, great, somebody in London. That's nice. Hello, John.
It's Northwood, wrong part of London, but
Northwood.
It's still just in London, not too far from Uxbridge, funnily enough.
Uxbridge, right. Well, we'll call it Middlesex, shall we?
It's Middlesex, yeah. I mean, it's radio and the hospital radio and this type of thing. I mean, you're absolutely right that there's no sort of freedom as far as sort of music radio. for the presenter to actually have any input into what they play at all. It's all
in hospital radio?
No, in sort of in proper radio.
Yeah. I know I'm right.
Hospital radio is a different matter again. But then again, actually, I mean, the reality with hospital radio is that very few people actually listen, and the presenters, the majority, are so awful. They're just sort of entertaining themselves most of the time. And,
well, that's right. If you were in hospital, what would I mean? You've got the choice of listening to actual radio, or people bringing in your CDs, or these days your MP3 players, or you could read a book. I mean, do you actually want to listen to a hospital radio DJ? Do you think that in your sick bed, that's actually going to make you feel better? No disrespect.
In fairness, it might do if they're actually sort of decent at the job. I mean, you get some that can put sentences together and can actually, will actually care about the sort of the way the program goes out.
John, can I stop you there?
All right.
There's not enough talent to fill proper music radio where people get paid, let alone hospital radio where people don't.
The irony is actually sometimes the best hospital radio can actually be a lot better than some of the worst commercial music radio, simply because the majority of stations that are out there on the FM or on the internet or wherever are so heavily playlisted that again it's become sort of completely sort of formulaic. You know, I mean, I remember listening to yourself actually on another station and just sort of thinking, this is exciting because he's getting away with saying things that don't seem to be getting said, and there seemed to be some sort of control over. You know, you actually seem to have some control over the music that was going out, or at least if you weren't, you genuinely sounded enthusiastic about what was being put out there, and I think that's a rare thing. And I mean, you know, with John Peel's been talked about again, and the problem at Radio 1 really was that he was, in a sense, the sort of maverick that they kept on air simply to give the station a bit of credibility, and this went back to the early days when indeed he was actually young, and he somehow stuck in there.
Well, he stuck in there because he became, much to their displeasure, an institution that they couldn't get rid of because it would have been so politically damaging for them.
And, you know, rightly they kept him on, but again...
they kept him on, but they shunted him out to a time where they hoped that people would stop listening to him, and then they could fire him, but people didn't.
No, they just kept on listening. Yeah. I mean, I found that, I certainly... but he sort of won in a... sometimes, you know, my reasons for sort of tuning into a radio station, I mean, if it's LBC, it's because I never quite know where the conversation is going to go, or because I sort of... certain presenters... you know, I sort of think, yeah, he's going to be funny or outrageous or intelligent or a mixture of all these things.
I firmly believe that the talk format is the only thing that's actually going to last. If you come back in 50 years' time and listen to radio, I don't think there will be music radio DJs. I think it will all be... first of all, there'll be... thousands of radio stations because they will have internet radio stations. I think the technology will jump over DAB, digital audio.
Yeah.
You know, that newfangled radio thing they got.
I don't know because
and they'll have radios that actually pick up the internet because everything electrical that you buy shortly will be always on, internet connected. And if now in the infancy of the thing, there's countless thousands of streaming music channels that you can pick up for free, then in 10 years' time there will be uncountable.
Yes, that's right. But
and none of which will have, you know, all of the things that people initially flag up as things that they find irritating, i.e. anything other than the music. So I think that music radio DJs will be like the horse and cart. They just won't be there anymore. And it would be people like you and me, wistfully talking about the good old days. We'll probably be in a home together, shaking beneath blankets, waiting for the nurse to come round with our cocoa, talking about the good old days and Kenny Everett and people like that.
Quite possibly, but
there's a lot of people who are dead.
I find that you know that there are shows out there where somebody will come on. I mean, Mark Lamar's a good example. He seems to genuinely know quite a lot about the music he actually plays. Does a specialist rock and roll show.
Right. Okay. Specialist shows put on at a time when no one's listening. Yes, those are the only people that actually have any choice in what they play anymore.
Yeah, you know, I still like that sort of radio when it comes on.
Yeah, and you are probably around my age.
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Well, as I say, I remember hearing you a few years ago, so I must be.
And so it's you and me and people of our ilk who are the last ones that will actually enjoy listening to DJs present music. I'm sure of it. I don't think teenagers are going to grow up, and the generation that's coming behind the current teenagers who will know nothing but MP3 players and internet connection and so on. They're just not going to choose it.
Yeah,
I think the talk format is definitely the way to go, because it's the only thing that you can't automate.
No, it is that there is that. I think I just quote the Sun actually, or misquote it. Will the last DJ to do a decent music show turn out the light as you get into the studio?
Pull their fader down. Yeah,
or the fader.
All right, thanks a lot, mate. I've got to go.
Nick Abbot.
Oh, that was a very short jingle. This is LBC, 0870 9090 973, and Emma wants to play the game.
Hi, Nick. How you doing?
I'm all right, Emma. So you think...
you're doing it well.
You think you stand a chance, do you?
Well, I kind of think I know, she says positively, one of the guys.
So, to play the game, because I'm going to be spending my own money, we would ordinarily have to have a chat first. People can't just come on and want money from me.
Okay.
You know, you have to go through a certain...
Well, I didn't really understand that, so...
Right, well, I haven't explained the rules yet.
Okay.
And the rules are that you can't just come on and say, give me money. I mean, I know it's kind of an instant I want society, but let's hark back to the good old days, eh?
Yeah,
how about a bit of politeness? I mean, good manners don't cost nothing, do they?
How are you?
I'm all right, thanks a lot, dear. You don't have to, put yourself out too much. The news is coming on, so we'll just cut through all that, shall we?
We'll cut through the chase.
Now, you understand that the prize this is not a radio station prize. I will be buying this with my own money in a shop. Anything that you want, conditions apply. The presenter's decision is final.
Okay.
And no communication will be entered into.
Okay, sir.
Right, number one.
My answer.
Answer away.
I think it's George Clooney.
George Clooney. Wow, that's loud. Yes, that's right. Number two.
Oh, I don't have a clue.
Oh, no. A clue? Yeah, it's this bloke here who's going dumb. Super famous. And she's passed out.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Thanks for playing. Ta-ta, Emma.
Bye-bye.
This is LBC.
Available on DAB Digital Radio. London's LBC 97.3. London's LBC 97.3.
0870 9090 973.
Nick Abbot.
Can't you just see his happy, shiny, smiley face as he's bashing out these notes with his fat, stubby hands? His flashing teeth. It's Liberace himself. Old man. And people were stunned when he died, and then they realised that he was actually gay. Liberace, gay? You're joking. It's the American Elton John. Or Sir Elton John, as we're supposed to call him. What a silly country this is, when we fall over ourselves to call people by their title only when they've been ennobled. Like, nobody calls me Mr. Nick, but you have to call him Sir Elton. Is that ridiculous? He's a pop star. Hey, I love this track. Turn it up a bit. Let's hear this. It's called Boogie Woogie or something like that. Liberace. And there's one thing that actually needs changing, am I right? In fact, it needs just wiping out altogether. This ridiculous... I've gone completely blank. I think the drugs are when I say drugs, I mean the ones that I picked up from the chemist earlier on, are seriously beginning to kick in now. A lot of things that I shouldn't actually be mixing with tea, or indeed anything else. I shouldn't be operating heavy machinery, or speaking. Up to my eyeballs I am. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the system where people get dubbed by the Queen. What's that? Yeah, the titles. Yeah, but come on, Lucy, what is it? Say it on the air.
Well, when they're knighted.
Yeah, it's the honours system.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey, finally we got there. Hallelujah, it's a miracle. You can hear the double click, but I didn't quite hit the thing. There it is. That's very, very loud. Well, Lucy, it hurt your ears, but you were the one that put it on there.
Put the fader lower.
Put the fader lower. Right. This is like a seminar. It's like how to do the show while we're actually doing the show. Is this thing on? Are we on the air now?
Yeah.
No? Oh, well, it's a great relief to us all. The number is 0870 9090 973. Well, let's talk to Mick, and then I'll do something else about food. Mick, Muswell.
Hello, Nick.
Hey, Mick.
Hey, let's call me Mick the Anorak.
It's the Mick and Nick bit.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier...
Stop right there. You sound like a DJ.
Oh, really? No, I'm not. I wish I was, though. Oh, I did, to a point. But the picture you was painting earlier, yeah, you're quite right. And I have spoken to
About
you...
what?
Well,
or just in general?
Yeah, radio as it is. But you were saying about how more people listening to their iPods and downloading stuff and all the rest of it. Well, in America, the latest phase on terrestrial radio was to program their stations in such a manner. So there was no speech and just a mishmash of music. Well, it's failed.
Well, you mean automated?
Yeah, but they'd have they're actually called, they'd have station names like Steve and Dave.
What?
Yes. They would in St. Louis, Atlanta, New York, they've gone over to that. They've given some of their stations first names, Christian names, and that's how it is. They program their stations like iPods, and the format has failed miserably.
Gary is hopping up and down because he knows he knows. Say it on the air rather than type it, Gary. It's much easier.
I'm sorry.
Go on.
Yeah, it's things like Dave and things like that. And basically the idea, the premise of the station is we play what we want.
Yeah.
But I don't get it. Well, an actual broadcast radio station as opposed to something you can pick up on the internet.
Yeah, there's one in New York now.
Yeah. And the new thing...
And it's called Dave.
It's just called, on the back of buses in New York, it says Dave 104 point whatever. We play what we want, and when you listen, they kind of like, hey, we'll play this, and guess what we're playing next? Well, we'll make it up as we go along.
In fact, I know what that is. That's it's not called. It's the Jack format.
Jack,
yeah. Jack's another one.
Because Howard Stern, the world's biggest radio presenter, did you just say Nick? Nick.
Did I? No,
I thought you were crying plaintively in the background, trying to get my attention.
I said yes. You're right, Jack.
There's a guy called Howard Stern who's the world's most famous and highly paid radio presenter. Do you know how much he gets paid? Hazard a wild guess, Lucy.
I already know.
All right, you keep it to yourself, Nick. Hey, Lucy, how much do you reckon Howard Stern? He's a talk show host. Yeah. Well, let me tell you what he does. He does 4 hours, maybe 5, or depending on how he feels. He just finishes when he wants, and he just chats to the people in the studio, and he has guests in who are usually strippers and whatever, and he just talks sex at them. He gets paid on a yearly... He's just signed up 4-year contract. Guess how much for?
Yearly $3 million?
He's been paid $400 million for a 4-year deal.
Satellite radio.
400 million. Do you know how many listeners he gets? Fewer than Terry Wogan. That's actually true. But there are so many stations in America that to get that level of listenership is an enormous undertaking. So, in every major market in the States, people are on 8-figure salaries. He's just gigantically huge, and there's a big thing about him. He went to a thing called satellite radio, which is... see, this guy keeps calling plaintively, trying to get my attention. Nick, he goes, I'll come back to you, Nick, don't worry. I'm just explaining to the people, because nobody's heard of Howard Stern, apart from, nerds like us. And so he left this station in New York, which then hired Dave Lee Roth, the ex-singer of Van Halen, who you've heard of, right? And now he's doing a talk show which is actually terrible. It's beyond bad. It's just shocking. But the rest of the station is called the Jack format, and I didn't previously know what that was, because Jack music used to be like the precursor to R&B, didn't it? It was the guy with the big baggy parachute pants. Who was that guy?
MC Hammer.
Yeah. MC Hammer. That was Jack music, wasn't it? I don't know my black urban music, really, being a middle-class white boy, but it was something like that. But Jack is apparently, they just pretend to play anything. Right.
Yeah, Nick, here's the, connecting some dots here, I think you might enjoy. You mentioned the movie Team America.
Yes.
The talking computer in it, the voice, is a talk show host, which I think you might be familiar with.
Who?
And if you're not, you should be, because he's brilliant.
Who is it?
Phil Hendry.
Phil Hendry is actually one of the greatest talents to ever work radio. And he's so... I wonder if it's legal for me to bring in a Phil Hendry bit.
I think I don't think he would mind.
I don't think he'd find out.
He's too... No, I mean, no, he would... He'd love it for the Brits to play Phil Hendry.
See, people... I don't know whether I should go down this road, because people just don't care. But very briefly, this guy, if you go onto the peer-to-peer sites, you know, these sharing sites, type in Phil Hendry, Hendrie. This guy is unlike anybody you've ever heard on the radio. He doesn't have callers like this. He doesn't chat. Well, I guess he does. But his thing is, he has guests on the phone, and there's about 50 different guests. There'll be black women, reverends, there'll be Mexican men, and, you know, all types of different people who will come on the phone, and he will talk to them on the phone, and they will say the most outrageous things. And then people call in to complain about what they've heard on the radio. The trick is, and what a sizable portion of his audience don't realise, is that Phil Hendry is the guests. He is talking to himself. And he does it so seamlessly that if you didn't know, you would never believe it. So if you've got access to a computer and a peer-to-peer site, type in Phil Hendry and see if you can pull, or just go to his website and pay the small amount that he will charge you to access his old audio. It's absolutely incredible what that man does. Anyway, Phil Hendry, go and Google it, or, well, you're not allowed to say that, are you? But it's become a generic term, like Hoover. You can't say that either. But go and search it on your interweb page, whichever one that you... actually, Google irritates me, because whatever you're looking for, it always comes up with stuff that you don't need. You type in an estate agent's name on Google, and it will never show you the actual estate agent's page. It will show you sites that tell you... when you go to the site, or... I'm getting tied up here, but if you type into Google... I don't know, property in Herefordshire. It will come up with 10 million results of property in Herefordshire, and you go to the first one, which is basically saying, property in Herefordshire, yes, come this way. It'll be like a bloke in a shop doorway saying, yes, we've absolutely got what you want, property in Herefordshire, that's what you're looking for, this is the way you want to come. Come in here, sir, yes, property in, right in here, and when you get there, he'll say, oh, we don't have any property in Herefordshire. You'll look at the page that it goes to, and there won't be anything there. They'll say, yes, we have everything that you need to know about property in Herefordshire, except that it's like the cheese shop sketch is Google. You just get massive amounts of rubbish. Are you shouting Nick again, Mick?
No, I wasn't, but I can if you want. Actually, the word blog, who come up with that stupid name?
I thought you were going to say something you shouldn't have uttered there for a moment.
I was tempted. But that's the thing. On satellite radio, Mr. Stern can say that because it's satellite and you can't regulate satellite.
That's right. Well, you can say it on television in this country. Have you heard of a show called Shameless?
Yes.
It goes out on Channel 4 at 10 p.m. when children could be watching.
That's true.
I very much doubt that you'd be able to play the audio to the television programme Shameless on the radio and still expect to work the next day. Isn't that strange?
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. I've always wondered why. That you can do so much on television, which is surely worse, to see it as well as hear it, but you can't actually just hear it. Like, I couldn't describe the plot of Shameless on any given week. On any given week there'll be nudity, there'll be gay sex, straight sex, public sex, there'll be smoking marijuana, they'll be taking ecstasy, they'll be snorting cocaine. I mean, everything that you're not supposed to do, they're doing in that show, and I don't think anybody's complaining about it at all. I mean, quite right too. It's an excellent programme.
Do they get good figures for it, viewer-wise?
I would imagine that the figures are great, because, you know, what else are you going to watch when it's on? Everybody's got to watch Shameless, because you never know what's going to happen next. And it's properly hilarious. But you're quite right in saying, why can you do that on television, but you couldn't ever expect to work again if you did it on radio? Isn't that bizarre? The only person that's ever attempted an explanation to me was a guy who was higher up in the BBC management. See if this makes any sense to you. He said that people choose to watch television, but radio is an uninvited guest in your house.
I can't see the logic in that, because both mediums have an on-off button, and...
It doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
So we'll ponder that one for a while, eh? As we go away to come back.
Nick Abbot.
Yes, that'll be me then. What does it mean when it's grey? Nothing at all. Okay, I'll go with... I can't do anything with it. Hey, Colin.
Hi, Nick.
You're in Ruislip, but you know that.
I do, yes. I live here. Do you?
I used to live near it.
Where?
Well, I used to live in Uxbridge, and then I used to live... what's 2 stops down?
Illingdon, North Illingdon?
No. It's, Ickenham.
Ickenham, Long Lane.
Ickenham, which is well named. It starts with the word ick.
Yes. Well, there's long lanes in Ickenham. One through the borough.
My memories of Ickenham are when I was a student, because when you're a student in the first year, they put you up at halls of residence, because basically you just come from your parents where they do everything for you. So to throw you in the deep end and living in a flat outside of university would be too much for your fragile little mind. So they take care of you. In the second year, however, when you're basically, just dossing around, they send you outside. And you don't have, unless you have the wit to rent a flat yourself with other people that you know, they just put you in with anybody. And I went to America during the summer holidays, so I didn't organise anything, so I came back desperate, didn't have a place to stay, so they put me in Ickenham with a computer scientist. I am a delicate psychology student, and they put me in with a computer scientist. He was the worst-smelling human I've ever come in contact with.
But that's the learning curve of life.
And also incredibly boring. He used to tell jokes about computers.
And
which was no laughing matter. I used to pretend to be because he used to have 8 hours of lectures a day, and I'd have like 1 hour every other day being a psychology student because there was nothing to do. And so I used to pretend to be asleep until he left, and then come back late enough so that I knew that he would be asleep because he had to get up so early. It was awful. Those are my memories of Ickenham. Stroll down memory lane. Pardon?
Now he's probably listening to you and he's going to sleep.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
Oh, you see, so tables have turned.
You've
learned?
It's just one big cosmic circle, isn't it?
Right, listen, National Health Service?
Yeah.
It's all a numbers game, really. The NHS was provided by the government, and when they decided they didn't have enough money to run it, they put it out to trusts. Now the trusts have got no money because the government have cut it all back. They're saying they can't manage them, which is just another numbers game for the government.
Right.
Do you understand that?
I must admit, I drifted off about halfway through.
That's the way it works. Oh, come on, listen, as you say about going to college, and people are getting degrees in things like pot plants.
Yes.
My son goes to college and he's paid £30 a week by the government, EMA.
What's he studying?
IT. Media.
IT, okay, so there's a reason there. There's a definite career path. It's a good skill to have. Well done him.
It's not really, because he's taken that course because he's getting £30 a week for going to school. Which is the way he looks at it.
Is it school or university?
Well, no, it's not university. It's got sixth form.
Sixth form. So they're paying... Yes, I think I've read about this, and I tried to forget it because I couldn't believe it. They're actually paying kids to stay at school.
Yes.
Presumably, so that they'll be able to say, hey, look, under our munificent leadership, so many more kids are staying in school.
But
because they're paying them to do so.
But if you look at the numbers game, when you take people on income support, they took them off that and put them on tax credit. Do you know about that?
No, it's not really an avenue I want to go down.
Well, just a minute, let me explain. You see, you've got children staying on sixth form because they're being paid £30 a week and 2 bonuses of £100 a year to stay on at school. So therefore, they're not in the dole queue or in the job.
Right. So it's just juggling statistics.
Yeah, but you see, then people on income support will put on family tax credit. So therefore, the government will say we've taken 15,000 people off income support this year.
Right.
But they don't turn around and say we put them all on. You see?
No, of course not.
This is the way it works. You see. Now, when my son finishes school this year, and he's got his degree in what he wants to, there'll be loads more who stayed on to earn this £30 a week, looking for the same job. So then the unemployment's going to rise. So really, it's just robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Right. Who's Peter?
I don't even know. I think he may live next door to Tony, but they're robbing one.
I think we're Peter, and when we're also Paul. He's taking the money from us to give back to us. Except they're not telling us they're taking it; they're just telling us they're giving it.
It's the numbers game. They're moving.
And we're all falling to our knees in gratitude.
One more thing before.
And another thing.
One more. Hospital radio.
Yes.
Now I do a show on hospital radio. And I go round the wards every week and collect requests from the patients.
Right. Do any of the requests include please stop or...
No, one of them is I want to be out here by Saturday.
Yeah.
And no, but they are genuinely pleased to see us because sometimes we're the only people we get from the outside world to see them.
Right. Do they actually listen though, or they're just happy to have someone to chat to?
No. We've got an interactive service at the station I work for where they can actually phone directly into the studio from their patient line system.
Right. They think they're calling the consultant. Meanwhile, they're being put through to you.
And they say, can I hear this by that? And we go and get it and we play it.
Right.
And
how big a library have you got? Is it all Matt Monroe?
We've got about 78,000 tracks on our library.
78,000?
Yeah.
78,000?
Yeah.
Your playlist is 78,000 tracks?
All on CDs.
You're the most free-form station in the world.
It's absolutely brilliant. You name it, we play it.
In a Garda de Vida?
Yes.
You do not play in a Garda de Vida?
No, we haven't got it. That's probably one. But we have got absolutely thousands of tracks.
Trampled Underfoot. Can you play that one for me?
Not now, I'm not at the station. You see.
No, but you would... I seriously doubt you've got physical graffiti. Come off it, mate.
What I would do is...
How about Astronomy Domini? Can you stick that one on for me?
If you was to phone me at the station on Thursday when I'm there, I would fish it out, and if we got it, we'd play it.
If I was on the air, when you were on the air, believe me, I would. But as I'll be at home at the time, I can't be bothered.
Why can't you phone me at the station? If I got it, I'll play it.
How about My Old Man's a Dustman? Have you got that one?
Lonnie Donegan?
See? Like Led Zeppelin? No. Pink Floyd? No. Lonnie Donegan? Oh, yeah, we've got that one.
We've got Pink Floyd.
I bet you could put your hand on it, even without looking.
Via the computer, we will.
And Lonnie Donegan as well. Yeah. Okay, well, the best of luck.
Well, why don't you phone me Thursday?
Yeah, I absolutely will. Yeah.
And I will see if I got it, and I will play it.
Right. Hold your breath, Colin. Thanks a lot, mate.
Put me on hold and I'll give my phone.
Yeah, I'll put you on hold, and I'll talk to you next week. There he is. He's on 10. Keep him on hold. and I mean forever. 0870 90 90 973. I recommend, if you are a radio host, by the way, getting a cold, because it makes your voice sound fantastic. Ordinarily, I sound like a girl. Here's one in Red Hill. Igor.
Hi.
Is your name really Igor?
Yeah.
You've got to be joking.
Why?
Where do you come from?
Montenegro.
Montenegro?
Yes.
Right, what's that like?
It's a holiday place of Serbia, Montenegro. You know, it's like on the coast, Bečići.
It must be fantastic. Beautiful, right? Beautiful scenery, mountains, the sea, the lakes and all that jazz, right?
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Well, you know, it's, you have to, you know, escape sometime.
Isn't it a property hotspot?
It could well be, but, you know, hot blood people, you know.
Hot blood people?
Yeah.
Can you say that again?
Hot-blooded people.
Right.
You know, you never know what they're going to do next.
Almost the same the second time you said it, yeah.
Came over.
Consistency, that's the thing. Go ahead.
Why do they have to be so consistent?
Igor.
Yeah.
So what's up, Igor? I mean...
Well, he was talking about Elton John earlier, saying he's like the new Liberace.
Well, he's a short, fat bloke who plays the piano, that's all I meant.
And
nothing
I
offensive.
thought, you know, I haven't used my creative skill very recent, so, you know, I'm trying to get back into songwriting, and I thought I'd just write about the next thing I hear on the radio, so like, I got the song 20 minutes later.
Really?
It's like, yeah.
Do you have a song for us now?
Do you want to hear?
I absolutely do, yeah.
Okay, I don't play very good guitar, but, you know.
Oh, that's okay. We'll go straight to the break after this chap here. Okay, Gary?
Okay.
All right. And now, let me give you a build-up first, all right?
Okay.
Okay, this is Igor in Red Hill from Montenegro with a song, What He Has Just Made Up.
Yeah.
Off you go.
Goodbye, Elton John.
London's LBC 97.3.
0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbot.
Ding bong. This is LBC. The number is as it has just been explained. Here is Sherelle.
Hello.
Hey, Sherelle, you haven't won any reality TV programs lately, have you?
No.
Oh,
What's that all about?
It's not you, then. Right.
No. Was there another Sherelle?
It must be Sherelle or Champagne or something like that.
Oh, no. Definitely not me.
Not you, right.
Listen, Nick. The reason I'm phoning, because I just had to phone, because I wanted to get that other guy off the phone. He was so boring.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, this is really dire. I was driving back. I've just been to a wine bar. I was driving back, and I thought...
A wine bar. Hey, it's a throwback to the 70s. A wine bar. And what kind of wine did you select tonight? A Bacardi Breezer.
No, don't do those. I was just having a glass of Jacob's Creek, so it was quite nice.
Chardonnay.
Not Chardonnay. No. It was just, it was a Shiraz rosé.
Oh, Shiraz. Sherelle drinks Shiraz. How about that?
Yeah. But anyway, that's the only reason I was phoning in, because I just thought if I phone in, then I'll have to get this guy off the phone. So
and you did.
Available on DAB Digital Radio.
London's LBC 97.3. London's LBC 97.3.
Nick Abbot.
What shade of desperate do you have to be to go on a show where the only qualification for entry is that you're fat? That seems a bit rude. Is that me? 0870 909... I've got lost. There's so many O's. I'll have to go back to the beginning again. Oh, no, let's just continue from the middle where I left off. 0973. Is that right? Or did I just stick too many? Who cares? It's the last number that you... it's probably on your speed dial for most of these people. That's what I'll do tomorrow. I'll try and set up. I'll try and be conversant with the equipment to the point that I can do a poll. And the poll that I'd like to do... Start by, and how butch do I sound right now, by the way? I mean, listen to that. You can get lost in the sound of your own. You turn the headphones way up. Here's a trick if you're a DJ on the radio. turn your headphones down. All those DJs that you hear, hey, all like that, it's because they turn their headphones up too much, and you get lost in the sound of your own voice. Turn your headphones down so that it's at the level that you ordinarily hear your voice, and then you won't sound like a DJ. There's no end of education in this show, ain't it? That's education spelled EDJUKASHUN. Education. So tomorrow I'm going to do a poll, which is a text poll. Pointless me even mentioning this now. I won't bother. I'll mention it tomorrow, when it's more relevant. Let's go with, is this the only one we've got? Let's talk about the NHS in Bromley. Hello, Neil.
Good morning.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, my point is a simple one, and I don't mean to be serious at this early in the morning.
But you're going to be?
I guess so, but maybe you have an opinion about it. People that smoke and drink and whatever, obviously it's abhorrent, and they shouldn't do those sort of things.
What? Wait a minute, hold on. Smoke?
Well, no, I mean, it's what we're led to believe, that we shouldn't do that, because, I mean, sooner or later, it's a nanny state. We're not going to be able to be treated, you know, if they can identify that we've had a fag or whatever, then suddenly we're going to be put into the back of the queue.
Right.
My point is, apart from the fact that I lock myself out as well, my point is that...
wait a minute, you what?
I locked myself out of my house.
What, just now?
A little bit earlier on, yes.
Are you still outside?
No, I'm with a friend. I do have friends, but it's unfortunate.
No, but I mean, you haven't managed to get back in your house.
No, I'm going to have to. I'm just wondering how to actually get in, because I'm in a first floor, and I didn't leave my windows open because I'm very safety conscious, and I'm that safety conscious that I'm not going to be able to get in.
Huh.
But
how foolish do you feel right about now?
Oh, I just feel a bit churlish. Yes, I think that I could have done better.
Here's a tip for people. In my last flat, I never locked myself out because you couldn't, and I think it might be illegal, this, but I can't imagine why. But instead of those doors that shut on like a Yale,
yes.
I
didn't shove it, which is fortunate.
I can't think of any other way to describe them other than using the brand name. But you know, if you push the door shut, it will lock without you actually locking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get locks that you have to physically lock, and then you can never leave the flat and lock yourself out.
Isn't hindsight a wonderful thing?
That's right, yeah.
And can I just quickly, briefly make the point about the amount...
Oh, yes, back to your point.
Yes, very briefly. The people that smoke and all that jazz, it costs 1.5 billion on the NHS, roughly, I suppose.
You're just making that up.
No, I'm not. And the amount that they contribute is 5 billion. So I think that therefore it's in some ways some sort of private health insurance that people that can look at. What do you think?
I think that whenever you go into hospital, if you're actually going to get anybody to cut anything on you, you should take a felt pen and mark the bit that they have to cut off. And I think that's actually probably a seriously good idea, because the amount of stories that I've been reading lately of people going to hospital with something wrong with their left leg, and they wake up and the surgeon's taken their right leg off.
I mean, obviously you've heard the old adage of the man that went into hospital and they amputated his legs accidentally, and they said, well, there's good news and bad news, and they said, well, the bloke said, what's the bad news? And the doctor said, well, unfortunately, we had to take both of your legs off. And he said, well, what's the good news? He said, well, the bloke in the next bed wants to buy your slippers.
That's just not funny. That's actually offensive to people who don't own slippers.
But they're all in bed now anyway, they'll be curled up. But I mean...
Well, they're lying down, that's for sure. Anyway, Neil, I've got to go.
I've got to say it's been nice.
Hey, do you want to play the game?
What's that?
It's famous people saying the word that will win you a prize that is literally anything you want that I will buy with my own money, conditions apply.
Okay, go on then.
The presenter's decision is final.
Right.
And no correspondence will be entered into.
Right. Disclaimer is done.
Famous people saying the word
Right.
Was
that you?
No. Super
Hugh
famous.
Grant.
Hugh Grant is the wrong answer.
No.
No, I'm sorry.
I don't retire then.
Not yet, no.
Oh, man. Nice to speak to you.
But on this show, you can. You can, make your excuses and leave anytime you like. Oh, now, that'd be a good idea. Here's one in East Ham. Hello, Jenny.
Hi there.
Jenny.
My goodness, Nick, you really sound good, you know.
I sound rough as a dog's tongue. What are you talking about?
Really? What's wrong?
Oh, let me count the ways that there's something wrong with me. Okay, first of all, I've got this pounding behind my eyeballs.
Mm-hmm.
My eyelids feel like they're made of sandpaper.
Uh-huh.
It hurts to swallow.
Have you got a bit of a rasping voice?
I do have a rasping. I don't ordinarily sound like this. Normally, I sound like a girl.
Like a girl?
Yeah. I have all of my bones ache.
Do they really? I think you've got like a slight flu or a really heavy cold going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm a doctor, but you just sound like you do.
And it doesn't sound like you care in any way, shape, or form.
Do you know what?
I'm
You
completely
sound
wasting my time.
Listen, you know what, Nick? You sound just like my Clive Ball. He says exactly the same thing when I ask him how he feels.
But nobody cares. See, that's
Are you related to him?
No. It's
Okay, I've just got to ask that, you know.
It's not a question that anybody actually wants the answer to.
But I've asked.
Well, you
And
asked.
I'm really interested.
No, you're not. You asked, but you didn't expect me to give you the answer.
I did expect you because that's the sort of person I am. I do sit down and listen to people because you don't know me. But that's how I really am. I am interested in people.
I don't know. It began to sound like a threat there. Like you don't know me. Like,
sorry if that sounded a bit.
But I know you.
But
you don't know where I live, do you?
Oh no.
Okay, great.
I'm not a stalker. But it's really interesting you say that because people who phone radio stations like that, you know, they want to talk about themselves, but and talk. That's what show's about. But I'm interested in people. That's how I really am. I like to connect with people.
Yeah, I seriously doubt that.
I'm telling you, I do. I really do.
So what do you do for a living then, Jenny?
I'm a student.
Right.
Yeah.
Studying what?
I'm actually studying an anti-cancer drug. I'm looking at an anti-cancer drug.
That's not a subject. What are you studying?
I'm looking at the molecular biology of how bacteria actually make this particular antibiotic.
Dude, that's not a subject either. What are you studying?
Okay. Well, I am doing a research degree.
Right, so you've finished one degree.
Uh-huh.
You've got your first degree,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're doing, what? What?
A PhD.
A PhD.
Mm.
Wow, we're talking to an actual, real-life brain on the air. You do realise you're the smartest person that's been heard on this station this evening, well, certainly since I came on.
I think everybody has intelligence, and everybody is interesting,
I think most people hide it really well.
You think so?
Yeah.
Mm.
So what was your first, what was your initial degree in?
Applied biology.
Wow, that sounds so boring.
No, it was interesting because it was a very broad degree, and you know, it had the physiology. What was it? Oh goodness, it's a bit of a while since I did it. Oh my god.
Can you remember anything from your first degree?
Microbiology. Yes, yeah, I do.
I did.
What do you do?
Oh, you know, this and that. I had a formal education from when I was 5 to when I was 22, and I can remember one thing. Do you know what that is? Carbon dioxide turns lime water milky. That's the only thing I remember.
It's shocking, isn't it?
But that's actually true, though, isn't it?
You know, I think it's very much chemistry, isn't it? And I'm really
Oh,
bad
it's
at
not your
chemistry.
field. Right.
No. I'm really bad at chemistry.
So, are we going to find a cure for cancer anytime soon?
Well,
or a cure for the cold that I have right now? That would be nice.
Well...
Or am I completely wasting my time even posing the question?
Well, I think the common cold is a very hard one because there's so many different viruses out there, and, you know, they really can't...
Excuses. You see, this is all... You go to medical people, it's like talking to engineers. They suck their teeth and they say...
Do they?
Tricky.
Yeah, engineers are a bit dodgy, aren't they?
Oh, what does that mean? What experience do you have of engineers?
Well, they're next door to my lab, actually. I thought, I can hear them every day.
Wow, it seems...
And I'm making a major generalisation, aren't I?
Well, it seems like that there's a story there. Should I delve?
No.
Have you?
Delved into the engineer's mind, you mean?
Well, mind...
Oh, academia is a funny place. I'm telling you now. There's a whole lot of very snooty, bright people. I'm not one of them, thank goodness. I'm pretty down to earth.
Bright people, on paper, if they're bright, can also be incredibly stupid, am I right?
I agree. I really do agree.
I mean,
my goodness.
There's intellectual intelligence, and then there's street...
No common sense.
Common sense. I was going to say street smarts, but that's an Americanism. Common sense is exactly right.
I think you really need, a combination of both in balance, because, to survive in life, you can't... You've got to really, how to describe it? I'm going to use the word connect with everybody, really does get you. I mean, I've been reading a lot on emotional intelligence.
Which is kind of what we're talking about, right?
And it's basically a way of, becoming balanced in your way of coping with life. And, one of the ways we have to cope with life, we have to meet different people and people in different walks of life.
No, we don't, really.
Unfortunately, we do. Unfortunately, we do meet people.
I always avoid meeting people whenever I can.
Why?
This is as close as I want to get. You're on the other end of a phone, miles away, and I'm sitting in a attractively decorated room like the inside of a psychedelic potato sack. Everywhere you look in radios is Hessian. You'd think they'd come up with some other material.
I think you better do some decorating, but I'm curious, why do you not want to meet people?
Because, have you heard some of the people that I've talked to so far this evening?
Well,
see, they're a
representation. Like that.
And they're not even a representation, like a cross-section of the general public, because most of the general public would find operating a phone hard.
Really?
Well, the masses are asses. You must know that.
I've never heard of that. The masses... Oh, I'm not even going to repeat it. It's so
it's true, though. Am I right?
No, I don't believe that.
Anybody that's listening... Well, you obviously don't work in a job where you get to interact with members of the public all the time.
I do, actually. I mean, part-time I work in a retail store.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
And you still have respect for members of the general public?
Well, I've been taught how to approach people and, really meet their needs. Wait
a minute. Hold on. What kind of a store is this?
It's part of the John Lewis Partnership, and they're very good at teaching people how to get on with the public.
Okay, meet their needs.
There's very good training in that area.
In that sense, right? I've got it.
Yeah.
So you actually like the public, despite having met a lot of them?
I don't like everybody, but I know how best to get on with people.
Right. See, I don't. That's my problem.
You don't?
No.
It just gives you, more clarity, emotional intelligence, or just, understanding where people are coming from, despite, their hang-ups and whatever. It makes you more tolerant or more aware.
Hey, Jenny. Jenny?
Am I going a bit deep for you at the moment?
No, it's just that, do you know where you're going to?
Where am I going?
Yeah, no, do you know where you're going to?
What do you mean by that?
I'm trying to sing a song, but I just don't think I can get there.
What song is that, then?
It's the one that goes to you know where
Do you know what... Oh, I know it. Do you know... I know what you're
talking about. Where you're going to... Something,
okay, I know what you mean. I know what song you're talking about. It's on the tip of my tongue as well, but I can't remember what it is.
Something.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do you want to play the game?
No, actually, I wanted to talk to you about education, actually.
Hey, we've just done that. Do you want to play the game?
No, not really.
Oh, go on.
If I can talk to you about education, this is very important,
Just one
One okay, then.
Who's that?
Obviously it's a man, isn't it? So,
Oh, well, you're on the right track.
Oh, I'm halfway down.
You know people, you.
Halfway there. Oh, even I'm doing it. Goodness.
Time's running out faster than you know. Eamon Holmes is not the right answer. Oh, but thanks for playing. It's another satisfied customer on LBC.
Nick Abbot.
And here's Bill Buckley, who is coming in at 1 o'clock for a marathon.
Well, yeah, it is really, isn't it? 5 hours worth of me. They must have gone mad. But there we are. That's what they want. So I shall do my best to fill it.
And how are you going to do that, then?
Well, I thought we might talk about tipping. One of the capital's most fashionable restaurants, the Wolsey, has decided, they're going to add 12.5% service charge to bills. Of course, lots of other restaurants have done that for many years. And their excuse
was, or their reason was, that I couldn't really figure out, because I read what they said the reason for them doing it was, and I couldn't quite figure it out. They said it was something like, it takes too long for people to tip us, so we're going to automatically add it.
That's right.
Something along those lines.
That's about right. It's the introduction of chip and pin machines. So when the waiter or waitress brings those little portable machines over, they hand it to you, and people panic because they've got to decide there and then and type the right amount in. So a lot of times they don't have any tip on. So waiters and waitresses are suffering in their pockets.
Right.
And B, which I do understand maybe, because it is a bit kind of naked, and there's the person saying, when they leave you the bill in the old days and go away, you can have a little think about it and then discreetly hand the slip to them, can't you, afterwards? But you can't do that anymore.
I've never actually experienced, so you have to type in your tip.
Yeah.
Right.
If the machine says gratuity question mark or something like that.
You know what? I only give cash as tips.
A lot of people say that, on the grounds that you don't believe it necessarily gets to the
almost
right person
never
otherwise.
Gets to it. The management take the tips. I'm not saying they do that at the Wolseley.
No,
but
you might be right.
Almost everywhere else. And perhaps there too. I don't know. We'll have to ask.
The other thing, as you say, is that they say the machine takes too long to do it, but it's got to be quicker than when they used to take it away and then bring it back again.
Yeah.
It's still faster than that. But it's embarrassing if the waiter is standing there and you're sitting there. 5 seconds can seem like 5 weeks.
And 12.5% doesn't actually seem that much in a place like that. Because I think I would feel a bit cheap leaving less than 15. I mean,
really?
if you were in America, you'd probably get shot if you left less than 20.
That's the weird thing. All over the world it's different, isn't it? And you've got to really know what you're doing.
In Spain, they don't like you tipping at all.
No,
if you've got literally a couple of pennies, then you can leave some change on the table. But they just flat out, they'll feel offended, actually.
It's a minefield out there.
I can remember being in a... I'm sorry, I interrupted you. I can remember being... I'm sorry, I interrupted you again. I can remember being in a hotel in Spain, and we tipped a lot, because we changed rooms. There was something wrong with the room. Changed rooms. It was a fantastic room, and I tipped them the woman who comes and changes your pillows a tenner, which she was apparently mortified about. And the room looked like a bomb had hit it when I got back. She had taken one of her hairs off her head, this great long strand, and wrapped it around. There could have been it couldn't have got there by accident. She wrapped it around the glass for the water on the side of the table, as though to reprimand me.
Because you've given her money?
For giving her a tenner.
Graciously.
They hate it.
Well, there you are. Be careful in the various parts of the world. Anyway, tipping we thought we'd talk about.
Right.
And men crying I thought we'd talk about as well. Because everybody's doing it, aren't they?
I cry at a coffee advert. All I have to do is play sad music, and I'm bursting into tears.
It's very much a thing of its time, and I've always been a great exponent of it, unlike our dad's generation who had to hold it all in and...
be men.
Be men.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering whether we've gone too far the other way now. I mean, that actor who didn't get booted off that Dancing on Ice thing last week burst into floods of tears. Well, it's not even something like X Factor where getting through might change your life, because when this gig's over, he's going to be back to being an actor again, and he's only there to hopefully
the pop idol people burst into tears every now and again, but
it
many of
them.
Well, many of them are mentally ill. So there's an explanation.
Hadn't thought of that. Anyway, men crying and tipping.
Right.
For starters.
Cool. All right.
I must away.
Away you go.
Do my finishing touches.
Phil Buckley is on after 1 o'clock on LBC. I'm Nick Abbott. Let's go with this one in Edmonton, and it's a person called Gail. Oh, Gail.
Hello?
Hello, Gail.
Oh, hello. Well, actually, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know you were on the air because, quite frankly, I was in bed, which is unusual for me to go to sleep very early. And my nieces rang me, yes, and they told me that you're on the air, so if I wanted to speak to somebody briefly about anything that's been kind of, bugging me somewhere.
Well, there's the background to the call, and now the call itself.
Okay. So the thing is, what I was going to say is, I know this might sound a little strange to you, but...
Oh, well, it would fit right in with the first part of the call.
Okay, I met somebody about maybe maybe about 4 years ago.
Who was that? Anyone you know?
No, it was just somebody, well, I mean, he was a person obviously drives a bus, and because I was leaving my family's home, going home, you know, at a certain time of night, this person waited for me with the bus. And then he said to me, what would you have done had I not waited for you? I said, well, it's a long way to walk from here to where I live.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
So you invited him in?
No, I didn't invite I don't intend to do that. Anyway, the thing is, well, I knew he sort of liked me because he kept asking me questions. You know, I was...
What, like, do you have the right change, please?
Yeah, well, I suppose in a roundabout way.
Don't talk to the driver while the bus is moving.
No, I'm a very friendly person. I talk to everyone, and sometimes I get...
No standing on the top deck, that sort of thing.
Well... Anyway, so this sort of grew into a thing like, you know, that I obviously got the impression he sort of liked me, or whether he was just, you know, flirting or what, I don't know. And, of course, I've been through a difficult marriage, lost my ex-husband not that long ago, and also my sister before it. So the thing is, I suppose I was, you know, more vulnerable, and I was talking way to him.
Yeah.
So he wanted to know if I was divorced, this, that, and the other, but never told me much about himself. All he said was...
Suspicious.
Well, he had a wedding ring on, which I knew he was obviously married.
Why were you flirting with a married man?
No, I mean, I think I needed to talk to someone at the time. You know, as I said, I'm an easy person to talk to.
Easy, yes.
So
the upshot is?
Yeah, so consequently, you know, we somehow became friends. Nothing personal or intimate or anything.
Right.
And
nothing intimate or personal about friends.
Well, no, because, I mean, in the first place, I thought it's wrong for me to try and get involved with him because he was attached to someone, but he wouldn't let on much.
But where's this going, though? I'm curious.
No, what I want to know is, he used to ring me regular, eventually gave him my phone number, okay? He used to ring me regular, but because I felt, maybe some of it was my fault, I felt he wasn't, you know, talking enough to me about all sorts of things, you know. Perhaps he was just kind of maybe after one thing only.
Yes.
But so I got a little cheesed up. Sometimes I'd have my number changed because I'd also get some funny calls every so often, and that's not from men either.
Well, me too.
No, okay.
Have you been listening to the show?
And I'd speak to him quite often, and then when I had my number changed, there was no way I could let him know I'd had my number changed, because in between he wouldn't phone me.
So where's this going, though?
What I'm saying, actually it's probably gone nowhere, but why?
Oh, great.
I've been trying to ring him.
It's been a long trip.
I know, it's a long
the bus to nowhere.
Yeah, well, I had a very long ride with him on the bus, if anything. So
you did what with him on the bus?
I said I had a very long ride. You know, I used to go with him on the bus. Obviously, he needed company, so I'd accompany him, like, you know.
Right, and go with him on the bus.
Yeah,
right, this just gets...
You know, go from one end of the earth to the
worse
next.
and worse.
Because I liked him so much to be with him, you know.
So did you go all the way?
Well, on the bus, yes, but not...
To the end of the line? Yeah, just checking. Yes. Hey, you know what, Gail? I have to go. But I would give Anna a ring.
Right.
Give Anna Rayburn a call.
Oh, when is she on?
Weekdays from...
No, okay, so someone doesn't...
Check the listings in your local newspaper. This is LBC.
Nick Abbott.
Oh, that's me. Let's have a quick one in... here we go again. Belfast. This is a London radio station. Are you aware of that, Neil?
Oh, hello. Is that Whispering Bob Harris?
Yes. I do sound a little like Bob Harris, yeah.
Can you put Sensational Alex Harvey Band on the...
Yeah, the Sensational Alex Harvey Band is coming.
One of my favourite bands.
Me too.
Yeah, it's nice to hear you on the radio again, or the internet, or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is, thanks.
It was funny, because I'm in the old Nick Abbott chat room tonight. It was like stepping back in time.
It's the what, sorry?
The Nick Abbott chat room.
The Nick Abbott chat room?
Yeah, there's like a chat room thing. Oh, don't pretend you don't know. I remember that night. You were in there, but yeah, the old name.
You remember that night I was in there?
Yeah.
I have never entered a chat room that's about me. You have to believe me on that.
I'm not surprised you don't remember the condition you're in. But no, well, I haven't got long, and I'm kind of scared. I had to run around to a phone box. I'm kind of scared that well, I live on an estate, so you know.
You live on an estate in Belfast.
Yeah.
Oh, what a romantic image that conjures up.
Well, have you noticed, actually, you were mentioning Shameless earlier, have you noticed that the bashing of the working class people is on the up these days? It's very fashionable. You have all this chav stuff, and shameless.
They're about the, apart from middle-class white people, they're about the only sections of society that you're allowed to actually make jokes about these days.
Yeah, and of course people on the sick. You know, everyone's, I heard you mention that as well earlier. There's like something like 1.5% of people making false claims on the incapacity benefit, but it's, you know, it's all hyped up so that everyone's pointing fingers.
Oh, you have to believe me that I didn't say that. That had to have been the caller, who I was probably trying to get rid of at the time.
Yeah, can I do a quick plug first?
Plug, go ahead.
It's chills.cream.org /tumbleweed. It's like a comedy, I really like comedy, and it's a award ceremony thing we did.
Can you say the word dot again?
Dot.
Say .com.
.com.
That actually, sadly enough, could be the funniest thing that's happened on this show today. Say it again.
NickAbbott.com.
.com.
.com.
Oh.
I don't know how you cultured people say it.
Yeah.
.com.
No, me either. Hey, Neil, I gotta go, but thanks a lot, mate.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, that's it. Tatty bye.
Available on DAB Digital Radio. London, LBC 97.3.